This platform is independent, and we wanted to work with everyone across the spectrum. So folks are invited to share what they know, and the viewers makes their choice, and we ask the questions and we give the opportunity to answer.
This craziness, man, I do not care. Why am I so anti-establishment? Because of what I've seen the establishment do to people. That's why I cannot be pro-establishment.
Power is in the hands of the people. And it really did. What we all witnessed is the government, they knew that they're heading in the wrong direction. They knew Gambians are speaking in the same voice.
What law in the books that says the government has power to come out and go after folks' private citizens' properties and demolish them because somehow the government interest?
The only way that we can salvage our country is when everybody wants that gets their hand dirty. Don't sit there with your expertise and just to procrastinate everything that people say or pontificate, what everybody says or does. Let's get our hands dirty.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Another Sunday for the people, by the people. Here we go again. Tonight, it's going to be interesting. We're getting a veteran politician, the Secretary General of PDOIS, Suwaibou Touray. We're looking forward to that conversation. Pap Samba, it's going to be something. It's going to be interesting. This is one person we've always been looking forward to having him here on For the People, by the People. I don't think
he's been here. Yeah, he's been here before.
Oh, yeah. Maka dika prof, ne damay fatte.
Oh, nga ne la dika?
Mak kay dik na ko. Kay Modou Njai Mune, he's the first. He's always been asking for when are you going to bring Suwaibou Touray? Pop Samba.
Yes, sir.
What am I wrong? He's behind the veil. He's a successful businessman. So sometimes the rubber has to come before anything else. But the man is so committed to the For the People, by the people, the issues of the day. He would definitely, hopefully, eventually, he would be coming out of the veil and we'll be able to see him to ask like he always does, the questions. Brother Marong, how you been? You're on mute, my brother.
Yeah, Fatimos, how you doing? Glad to be part of the panel this morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Bob Samba.
Yes, sir.
It wasn't too long ago, we were saying it's going to be a year, 6 months before the elections. Now we're counting down. We're looking at single digits in the next 8 months. Boy, time flies. And
it does, boss.
No. Huh?
It does. Almost, I just wanted to just take this opportunity to thank everybody because I've been inundated with calls and messages. I've not had a chance to respond to everybody.
Absolutely.
Because of the passing of my sister, Fadjao, which happened on Wednesday. And it is, you've been through this, most.
Oh, yeah.
It's still so real to us. Because to have somebody who woke up from midnight on her birthday, posting on WhatsApp, happy birthday to me, celebrating her birthday the whole day, talking with people, all jovial, prayed, did all her prayers, and just something happened and you're gone. Yeah. Is very, very tough. And Fadjao to me most, and I'm sorry, it's
Yeah,
like you grow up and there are people that you look up to.
of course. Mhm.
And Fadjao was this a person that I was always looked at with reverence every
Right.
time. Because all my life I remember Fadjao always working. She worked at Gamtel throughout her, her career until she retired
Mhm.
and all that. So whenever they say Fadjao ngay ñëw té mu nga jógee Farafenni or mu nga jógee Mansa Konko di ñëw, it's like you'll think that Sadaura was coming to visit the home.
Right.
I used to remember my dad looking at her with so much pride. We were like Fadjao ñëw na, with her beauty and all that.
Mm.
He's always been a very, very, very nice person. Bugamboka, and then was devoted to Baye Nyasam. In fact, dama ko lay rus. It's one of my siblings. Dama ko lay ñaawal. Dama ko, because of.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, dama ko lay ñaawal. Be like Fadjao so here mu ne barke bayang bayam. That's always ñaanam. Why, we're dealing with it, and just wanted to extend my condolences to Domami. If you say Ami Cissé mi nga xam ne moo nekk Amérique fii Awa Thiam mu nekk Angleterre, ñoom Papa Mambay ak ñoom Sëñ Omar ak ñoom kii Ous ñëpp, it's a big loss. Why, it's part of life, and she died on her 70th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Can you imagine celebrating your birthday and she did everything that she loved doing, talking with family, celebrating with family, elegant. Celebrating life, doing her prayers. She was very, very religious, deeply devoted. Forgis Fadjao mu ngi téye kurusam gi.
Correct.
After she did all that and ended the night, just before midnight, English time,
Mhm.
she passed. Because dafa dem England pour seeti doomam ji foofu.
Yes.
So she did everything that she wanted to do. Like I tell the kids, Fadjao go in the Fadjao way. From elegance to her religious beliefs to family, and then decided to step off the stage. May her soul rest in peace. We'll definitely miss her greatly. Why, thank everybody. Thank you so much for the overwhelming outpouring of support, Musa. It's been massive.
Yes.
Yep.
Demo moy lolu. I mean, as you know, man, I don't do there very well.
Yeah.
And we want to extend our condolences to you personally and to the entire family.
Yeah.
Yalla rek a xam ko xamne she was like, when you told me she was in the US here until time we were recording, staying with her daughter, then went to to England to, I guess, spend the Ramadan with the other daughter. And yalla rek a xam tax li gaay dey wax léegi rek Allah has the final say.
Definitely.
And the fact that the way you put it, I mean, she went out the way that she would have chosen to go out.
Yes.
That said a lot.
Yep.
And yal na suuf sedda ci kawam, yal na ko bàyyi ñas ki nga xam ne moom la gëm.
Yes.
Peru ko ci Firdaus.
Oh yes.
I mean, si daraja yonti Yàlla Muhammad. I mean, Yàlla mun na ko Yàlla def. I mean, it's always tough when you lose a loved one. And I'm sure all of us and the ones that are watching, we've all, in one way or another, we've dealt with this, losing a loved one. They do empty, and that's the unfortunate part. And it's something that we are going to be dealing with. And again, condolences. I mean, when I spoke to you yesterday and you were telling me about her daughter,
Yep.
Manela, she's just like me. I don't deal with it very well. I don't know si bopa mama de sapi. Seriously. I mean, I am and I don't handle it very well. And I can relate to what she's going through.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's very, very hard. Losing a mom,
it's too much.
Dara melut ni lulu.
Yep.
Musiba naru like dara genu ko bon. Like lose your own mom. It's just tough. But if anything to go by, I mean, this is what I have to tell her. It's gonna get better, Her memories will stay with you for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like all of us, Some of us, our mom passed away almost 20, 25 years ago. The memories would stay, and you would definitely get better. Yalla mi nga xamne dara teewu ko yal na la yalla jàppale to go through these hard times. Yes, definitely, Brother Maron.
No. I also wanted to take this opportunity to send my condolences to Shanghai. We have two huge dates. Henry Gomez's mom.
Oh, wow.
Also passed away a day before my sisters. We were dealing with Henry and being your bum. And, I had a chance to communicate with Henry. Mary Auntie Doe was like one of the nicest women you'll ever have. Everybody used to be there, very nice woman, also very, very elegant and all that stuff, and they said, Mom, she passed away. So my condolences to Henry, to Anna Marek, Michelle, to the Pa Farak, the whole family, definitely. It's life. You go through it.
Yep. Brother Maron.
Yeah, I joined, extending my deepest condolences to the family. Coach, accept our sympathy and pray for the sister, for Allah to give her Jannatul Firdaus. Life is so. I think the most important part is the children. They deal with these griefs, and everyone needs to support them during these difficult times. So it's very, very important. But I think she lived her life well, and 70 years old, and she was very devout and do what she likes to do, love to do, and he met her on that path. And I think we all pray that Allah give Jannatul Firdaus and those who passed away before her. So condolences to the entire family.
Thank you, man.
Yep. Yeah. So Pop Samba, as I was saying, we're getting very closer to 2026.
I see it's not saying motor bicycle.
And I see people are well, I'm gonna interesting. I saw CDC say out of nowhere, Nyom Tamin New Guinness and motor bicycle. NPP.
Well, what I really like about what you guys are doing, first off, congratulations. Thank you for also providing your motorbicycles with helmets. Because I think the most irresponsible time traffic-wise happens during elections, where you see people loyalty motor and all that stuff. Why you don't have to be a UMC member to appreciate what they are doing. Because the only way that you can fight a regime, Binga Hamnani has no conscience and has no problem using state resources, because you send them to meet the people's store, give them a budget of 10 million, you spend 50 million or so, they use state resources, and all they talk about is NPP. So you have to be able to match them somehow. You may not be able to match them dollar for dollar.
No.
But at least you have to be visible, and that visibility would come with resources. And to see UMC, building your bureaus, there are political parties in the Gambia that have been in existence now for over a decade. They cannot point to more than 2 bureaus. In fact, they have an office. When the IEC goes to visit, they would latch onto Hinalifina UDP, what they use our bureaus to. And I think that even needs to come to an end, But you guys, even though your registration is not complete yet, you guys were able to have bureaus all over the place, in fact, the show of muscle in politics, in fact, I think gives you respect. The reason why we were able to defeat APRC and Jame in 2016 was because of the opposition was fully funded. We could not match Jame for all the money that he had, but the opposition had enough resources to be able to do the work that it was supposed to do. And I think this is why definitely I have to give it to you guys, UMC, for what you guys are doing. when the time comes, we will ask fan la money bi joge. But unless Barrow tells us fan la bosam di joge, it's fair game. You know, but you guys are doing great. They just 100 day more than guy utilize. So I'm hoping that you guys would bring another 100 to match theirs to 130. So, but
Mbadu, look, Bob Samba. I mean, and I'm sure most of the people that are watching this program, I mean, they know me Mandama Farah, and that is I support UMC. But you know me and my politics. Man, I have a reason for supporting UMC. And we all know that we need to have change in 2026. I believe that wholeheartedly if our democracy is to survive, if our democracy is going to be consolidated. Man lola gum. And if we are going to get change, if Barrow is going to be defeated, and I've always been saying this, and I have coined a new phrase, we need the 3 M's. The 3 M's if you want to defeat this guy. You have to have a messenger. Somebody, and I don't know, that's a fair word. But somebody that has a crossover appeal. At this juncture, Ko Hamne, people will give him a second look. Ko Hamne, independents, unaffiliated. They wouldn't mind to stand and then vote for that individual. And I think, I'm not saying he's the only one, but Talib personal Lulu, I think he is the right messenger to take this guy, mano or mano. But I believe that. I think he can defeat him. I really believe that. And then you need, that's 1 M. And you need to have a message. Our message is simple to the Gambian people. This guy cannot run for 3rd term. It's not good for our democracy. That is the message. The message is back in 2016, Halifa Sallah stepped aside to allow him to be able to be elected. Ahmad Ba step aside. Ousseynou Dabo step aside. People that they've been there for years and years fighting the dictator. They step aside, Abal Komom. So that we can bring about the change that we all wanted. He walked away from that. He betrayed that trust. That is the message. And that's the message that we are going to put out there. That's the 2nd M. You have the messenger, you have the message. Bro, you have to have the money, the resources. So ko amudo win. Munen ko lam all we want. But if you do not have resources to take this fight across from Banjul to Koina, you are not going to win. And it's going to take money to build structures. It's going to take money to get your message to those people. And I believe me, UMC has that. We do. Now, you can question all you want. Oh, fan la khalis bi joge ñoma ko gëna xam. Ñi koy laccé ñoko xam. Dañuy dof lu way ñoo la ko gëna where the money is. Look, remember MC Cham? He was on a program, I think it was Kirfatu, Nico interview. When he was nominated to be the Secretary General of the UP, this was after, I think, PS Njai step aside. What did he say? He was in no position to lead the party because Amudara.
Yep, MC Cham, the late MC Cham.
Late MC Cham.
Yep.
And I understand how people would say, well, you know what, for democracy to work, there should not be a financial requirement or threshold. I get that. Now, only rich people should. No, I do not subscribe to that either. And let me tell you this. I'm part of UMC, and I know that there are a lot of things that they're doing behind the scenes to raise funds. Because there is not a single UMC supporter who doesn't understand that if we do not have the resources. And another thing I want to remind people, UMC is not just to get Taliban so they're elected in 2026. Anybody who thinks that is like most parties, they get formed. Yeah, we all know that. By the presidential election, then you form some party or they declare they want to be an independent candidate. The elections are over, you lose, that will be the end of it. Haniko, UMC. That's not the goal. Absolutely not. Win or lose, UMC is going to be a player. That is why, if you look at the card, they say the future is us. We're going to put up candidates in the National Assembly. We're going to put up candidates in municipality elections.
I thought you were just talking about some motor bicycle. You're now going to your National Assembly candidates too.
Yep, like no more motor bicycle. What it really means, you know, and I know. Nay, if you really want to be driving all over the country, taking your message to every ward, to every hamlet, to every village, boy, this is house to house fight. You cannot do it at Boninen, Intamit. So again, all I'm saying is this. UMC is poised to take the fight to NPP. Do I want to see something more? Yes. Do I think that just what we are doing now is going to get Barrow defeated? No, I don't believe that one bit. It's going to be a tough road ahead. And I'm hoping, boy, Fatimune Musa Jeng, stop it. I'm sure you will say that because you know. Father, I'm 100% UDP, not supporting UMC in any way, shape or form, but agreed with you on this one. If Barrow's financiers are not questioned, why UMC? My brother, if you say that, I'm not, you're always on my case. But Ibrahima, I want us to do a lot more than that. I know we've all given up the opposition, and the road we've traveled up to this point, but bro, if we come together, this guy is history. It is history. With the little resources that we have, we would give the Gambian people an opportunity. And with that, he would be defeated. I mean, Brother Maron, I don't want to forget you. I like it when I'm seeing you, then I guess your reactions, and so that gives me whether I'm getting to you or not. So all I'm seeing is a blank screen. So, Brother Maron, I guess he's still on mute.
I think you should appreciate, despite my busy schedule, I came over, but seeing my screen is very insignificant. I think what I had to say, it's more important and is more relevant to the discussion at hand.
Yes, sir.
So congratulations on the 120 or 50 motorbikes.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, I think something is happening within the political landscape of the Gambia. And, it's consequential, when only the ruling party is, mobilizing state resources and saying that we're going to muscle through. And I think, at least a emerging political party be able to amass resources, and so that, for the long haul, we are in there. And I think whether you are part, as Coach said, whether you're part of UMC or not, you should appreciate that they are taking the fight. They are mobilizing and they are organizing, and they have a lot of resources, and I think all of us should appreciate that. So this whole thing about where is the money coming from, where in this modern democracy that you think they are not political actors who are contributing? I mean, they tend to pump their money if they felt that the status quo is not right, and what they could do is, contribute to ensure that they change the status quo. So, I mean, in America, it's happening. I mean, political party Republicans, Democrats, they always, publish their quarterly or monthly what their fundraising muscles are. So I think we should appreciate that a political movement, it's not even registered, and was able to build, bureaus and motorcycles and to get in their message. But I think we should all be appreciative, and the political parties. No political party is in for a short run. We've seen, the emergence of political parties in 2021 who ultimately were in there for a short period. But all the major political opposition parties are there for the long run, and they are in there,
to win. So I think, having folks, come together and have these discussions, it's very, very important. Very, very important. So very important.
Yeah, Sterling, thank you very much. I guess somebody first raised a question about the finances and others. Well, here is what I want to say. Any political party in the Gambia knows whether it is DOI, whether it is the UDP, whether it is the NPP, running a political party properly in the Gambia is the most expensive thing. And for you to be able to, in fact, get your message across, you have to be properly funded. That doesn't mean that it has to be done corruptly or so, but you need to have the funds to be able to do what you're supposed to do. And this is why, let me give you an example. Let me use DOI as an example. There was a time it was very easy to see a Suwaibou Touray or a Mbai Sise or a Sehndaw or a Pasambu or a Sidia Jata or a Halifa Saleh or a Samsa resign their government jobs. Or Amisila and say, you know what, we are resigning our government jobs. We are going to form a political party and we'll be riding bicycles to sell foraya so that we'll fund our party. Or we are resigning, let's say Faisuso was a headmaster. I'm resigning headmaster job to become a teacher at Nyakoi, where I'll be paid far less than what I was being paid as, as a headmaster to help my political party grow. That is not this time now, Musa. Now, what is happening? Most parties are, in fact, now you have to find a way of subventing your coordinators to be able to be fully engaged with your program, with your party policy and all that. So this is why funding is important. One thing that I'm not going to do and sit here like somebody is suggesting and say that, you know what, because to say that Talib, I think it's one Marong.
Yeah.
Say that we know that he's being funded by Morocco and Lebanese. What does that in fact? Why Morocco and Lebanon in the first place? Is it because of the fact that
that's dog whistle?
So that's dog whistle. All I'm saying here is, I will never support any corrupt practice, whether by the state or by the opposition. All I'm saying, Moine, any opposition party that wants to fight this system effectively must be funded. Because the era of people volunteering politically has ended a long time ago. Most of our people are transactional, and before you know it, don't have anything and even want to inspire people. They will not even listen to you. So how does, let's say, Doi Fumnekani, we've tried, bought motor bicycles here and there and all that stuff. But there will come a time you start having problems because those motor bicycles will have to be maintained. How do you make sure that a Musajeng would be able to be fully functional in Kaur, to be getting to where you need to go to the people, spread your message and all that? These are all challenges that parties face. All I'm saying here is, whether it is the UDP, whether it is DOI, and this is why sometimes I come here and give UDP credit, because it has a membership that is ready 100% to dig their hands into their pockets and give the party money. We see that whenever Usainu travels and does fundraising. So unless you have a membership that is fully committed to sponsor the party, you're going to suffer. And this is why most parties are just party by name, because they cannot function. Musa, we just went through a congress. Every single one of those would cost you close to $1 million.
Yeah, and where is that money coming from?
Where is that money coming from? I was head of the ad hoc fundraising committee for that.
Yeah.
I know the challenge that we had.
Yeah.
In calling people, in trying to get donations. To be able to have a congress, you have a hall, you have to pay. Accommodation, you have to pay. Food, you have to pay. Their transportation, you have to pay. We don't have GG cars that government uses and transport people all over the place. We don't. So these are challenges. This is why I believe if people want to stop this, maybe we have to have the state subventing political parties. Then you'll be able to control this. We have a government that is corrupt to the core when it comes to, in fact, utilization of resources. How many government-sponsored activities, constitutionally mandated programs by the government, have been turned by this administration into an NPP rally? The whole Meet the People store has now been turned into an MPP rally. Whenever Barrow goes and says he's going to inaugurate a bridge that is being opened or whatever, it is state-sponsored. State-sponsored. What do we hear? Attack on the opposition and all that. So when we want to be fair, let's just be fair. I know there are people who are angry because of UDP came about. You saw the UMC. I'm not a member of the UMC. I will never be a member of the UMC. I'm a member of one political party, has always been a member of one political party. Have no desire to join anybody else's party. But facts are facts, Musa.
You see, people are making very unfair assumptions. And that is very unfortunate. But somehow, these funds are being financed by foreigners. They do have interests. I mean, you can say that with any of the parties that are out there. But you're just assuming. And this Bakari Maron kept going back and forward. Look, I'm a supporter of UMC. Now, I don't know everything that is happening in the party, but this is what I know. Let me tell you what I know. Here in the US, there is a chapter that is formed, UMC US chapter. People that are listening, that are part of that chapter, a bank account has been opened. And I'm telling you this, just to be very open. Now, anybody who thinks that this is all about Talib Bensouda and Banjul, you are absolutely wrong. Every member of the US chapter committed to at least send $250. And the entire financial budgeting of this whole process is, if you have 500 people, if you have 1,000 people, you're looking at $250,000. Why are we doing all that? It's because we do understand that this is what it's going to take if you want to take the fight to President Barrow. If I'm going to sit here and be coming and talking about UMC, now I'm not willing to, I have to put my money where my mouth is. No one is going to do it for me. If I believe that I want change, this is the list that I can do. And there are a lot of people supporting UMC that are committed to do that. So, making the assumption that somehow, if the law says foreigners should not fund a campaign, and I'm absolutely certain, seriously, some corrupt people are behind this party, and all they're trying to do is to get Talib Ahmed Bensouda elected so that they will hijack our government. I will not support UMC.
No, do you remember what UDP used to be accused of by Jammeh?
Exactly.
They were founded by the Americans. They're the ones funding them.
Exactly.
So these are the things. There is something that Bernard Mendy raised, and I think these are sometimes we are convoluting issues. If Gambians believe the energy that Talib is and his, I don't know who is behind this funding, are making to fund UMC could have been done to keep like a KMC clean, use that as a campaign this thing and say, you know what? This guy was more interested in funding his party than finding funds to keep our city clean. That's just easy.
Bro,
so to me, this is neither here nor there. And I'm not going to be sitting here. You see, you know what's happening with the opposition sometimes? We are so focused on what the UDP is supposedly doing wrong or what DOI is doing wrong, to the extent we have how many NPPs that does not exist.
We are undermining our own people, because when you question...
all I want to challenge people that if you have evidence, please
they don't have any evidence. They're just talking. Seriously. I mean, they are absolutely talking. Most of the people that are asking these questions, they know for a fact where some of these funds are coming from. They're just talking. Now, look, and then I'm going to allow Sariang to come in. You know what? This is the deal. If you want to find Mike Tyson and you get one of your hands tied behind your back, bro, that will be a very quick. I mean, you're going to be on the floor before you know it. And this is what UMC is not going to do. We are going to come and we're going to fight this guy from village to village, hamlet to hamlet. We all see what is happening in Nyangyen. UMC have their structures doing what they're supposed to do. What is the NPP's reaction? Gambia. This Nyangyen, they have questions. Maybe Domambi is supporting UMC. They went ahead and seized this stamp making sure that people are not going to get registered. What kind of nonsense is that? These people will do whatever it takes to win this election. And any of us as opposition, we're sitting here undermining each other and thinking that come December 6th, the opposition would even stand a chance. You must be living in la la land. We're going to lose, and we're going to lose big. The only way to do this, Dibachako, you did say that. The way to do it is for the opposition to come together, put our finances together, and take the fight to him. I'm all for that, 110%. And I hope and I wish that could happen. That is the sorest way of defeating this guy. I'm with you on that. But what we cannot do as individual parties, in the absence of that, is to basically say that, you know what, this election has already been lost, and just throw our hands and give up. UMC is not doing that. We are going to do, we are going to work and make sure that we have the resources and the tools that is needed to compete fairly, give ourselves a chance to winning this election. Brother Marong.
Faramos, you tend to be all wrapped up. Wrapped up whenever somebody says stop. I mean, this is simple, and I'm going to use this acronym, which is DPR: discipline, perseverance, and resilience. Right. So focus on what is important at this moment. Whatever body says, this guy Bakari, I think this is the same Bakari from Seattle. Okay. So I think we need to stop this futile chase and trying to malign folks based on foolish accusations. I think it's not gonna do anything. But I think the fundamental key here is the roadmap, what's gonna get you from point A to point B, and stick with your plan and execute. Everything else comes second. As I said, questioning where the funds come from and making this accusation. I've seen this trend and it's quite dangerous. Couple of days ago, there's this whole brouhaha about, is it Wave or AfriCell, saying that we're gonna recruit someone who's proficient in English and Wolof and all that. And people took that stuff and saying that it's tribalism and all that. Musa, everyone needs to have courage to speak against these things. I didn't see anywhere in that advertisement. They're not saying we are recruiting native Wolof. They're not saying that. They said English and Wolof is required. Now, what is that? Let's break it down for the sake of literally what that means. What that means. So basically, if you're Manjago and you're fluent in English and Wolof, you can apply. If you're Mandinka, you can apply. If you're Jola, you can apply. As long as you are fluent. This is a business entity. Maybe they are trying to penetrate that market. They don't have the necessary resource to penetrate that market. They can adjust their strategy, their recruiting strategy, to ensure that they make strides in that market. I don't know why that should be a focus when we have a lot of issues to focus on. And yesterday, I had a team of guys who came to see me, and we had this discussion. Some of them were not even informed. Some of them are not, they didn't even read that. So what is the issue? You go to other entities, even international, UN and other, they will say English and French is required. That's their recruitment tool, and that is a requirement. And I see this right up about Gambia, Senegal, and all. I think we need to focus on a lot of issues that is impacting Gambians right now, rather than nitpicking and picking something that's gonna divide people. If you call someone Mandinka, he has relatives part of Jola, Fula, Sarahule, and all that. But I seen a trend, and you seen it right here. Bakari just said it.
And Bakari, if you ask Bakari, doesn't have a single proof to prove what he just said it on the thing. And we need to be careful. This election is so important that we need to come together. This divisive, police chasing of some wild good chase, that's not gonna bring or further divide us and suspicious of everything that you do. Give people the benefit of the doubt. I wish UDP could bring 200 motorbikes next week. I wish even Mama Kande could bring 100 motorbikes next week. Yes, to match up to what the ruling party has. Mano to mano. But anything folks do, you have a different alternative. You try to make accusations. This is not going to take us anywhere, Musa. That recruitment, I was troubled making something out of absolutely nothing. The recruitment clearly says, it didn't say we're recruiting a native Wolof speaker. It didn't say that. It says the requirement was English and Wolof is required. Look at that. Meaning that you can come from any tribe, and as long as you're fluent in English and Wolof, you can apply. I mean, that is just the truth. But we have to speak to these issues, Musa. We have to speak. We cannot be silent. I seen that Gambia has gone through a lot. Gambia has gone through a lot. 22 of dictatorship.
Oh,
Now we got a man who has ruled us
yeah.
8
Hold on,
years and
sorry,
once.
boss, can you please check? I think they're in the lobby.
They're not.
Oh, okay.
Tell them that they need to look at the browser that they're using. Sometimes if you use the Safari browser or some of these other browsers, it may look like you're in the lobby, but you're not. So they need to.
Yeah, because they went and told them to put their name to be like so that they go in the
it will say that because I'm looking at it. They're not here yet. So they need to maybe Google Chrome. That's their best bet. Brother Maron.
Yeah. So I just want to kind of, because I was not even going to talk about it, but I said this point was raised saying that the Lebanese community. So there are some Lebanese who have settled in Gambia many years. They marry Gambian women and they have grandkids and they are Gambians. How are you going to call them? Oh, okay. All right. So I think
Deba. Raji Deba.
Wow, coach, jërëngeen jëf. Waaw, yéen a ma dégg. I don't know which one.
Most mute call.
Can you come and so that you can have the background?
So Sariam, yeah, we'll delve into that issue. I mean, if there is, and I totally agree with you, if there is one thing that we don't want to do, is allow these elections to be reduced to a cultural issues. We know how the 2021 elections, I mean, how it came out, and we don't want to have a repeat of that. We do not want to make this election about ethnicity. We don't want to make it about cultural issues. We don't want to make it about this nonsense. That would be a huge mistake. We need to get away from that seriously and focused on what is definitely important to the Gambian people. This ethnicity thingy, no. As far as the opposition is concerned, that will be the worst thing we want to be peddling out there. We don't need that crap, really, if we are serious about winning. We cannot allow it to be reduced to that.
This is what I believe that
whether they can do this or whether they can do Wolof or they can do that, and we're doing Mandinka this or Mandinka that. I'm not even gonna get into that because to me, it's this, and I'm speaking politically only. Seriously, I'm telling you, is a losing battle, guys. And we have to understand that. We need to get away from that completely. It's idiotic. And I don't think the wave will just go out there to just promote one ethnicity. It doesn't make business sense at all. But anyway, Pap Samba.
Now, all I have to say, Moire, of course, this is all natural for people to question other parties. But I think that there is enough messaging to remind Gambians on why there is a need for change. You alluded to one aspect of it most, and that was this third term thing. For somebody who was supposed to, okay, Suwaibou is here, so.
Yes, that is right.
Good afternoon, Mr. Touray, Honorable Touray.
Good in Gambia, we say good evening. How are you? Mr. Jen and Mr. Jawu.
Hey, Alphaba.
How are things?
Great, sir. Good to have you. Well, we've been longing to have you here, but because of issues, we could not. So we are glad to have you here again today, joining us.
Wonderful.
And so I'll just let Musa lead the charge, because I have to go and accompany you with, the Sumbuya, because we need that. So Mos, you go ahead and do your thing.
So Mr. Touray, Honorable Touray, I think it's freezing. Can you hear me, sir?
It's frozen. This is what you get from the Barrow government. They cannot even provide people with proper internet service.
Yeah,
I think they would try to make it work.
Yeah,
this is the biggest challenge that you have.
So Pastor Bilai, this election has to be about.
No, it has to be. There is enough. We can. You know what? If people one day can just keep on haggling us to feel a that's not going to change Barrow. Believe me. This guy, he's doing what he's supposed to do. He is spending money like a drunken sailor.
Yeah.
He is getting everywhere. And if you look at the NPP, you have to give them something. They are not treating these elections like it's a foregone conclusion. No. They are doing everything as if they are the underdogs. You don't see NPP you don't even see them bragging about we have this in the bag.
No, they are not.
So they're treating this as seriously as they could. But when it comes to the opposition, you see, at some point, this whole UDP, UMC, Naka Wahala would have to subside, and then we focus on the bigger issue here.
Suntu.
Suntu,
Bilahi, Suntu. I understand what you are saying, but this is the mistake that you're doing. When you make it an issue, people would make it a political issue and use it as a weapon against the opposition. That's what we are talking about. Look, just like you, we were not born yesterday. We know exactly what is going on. I mean, all these dog whistle and all that nonsense, you know more than anybody else. There's nothing absolutely tribal about that. But people would want to use it and do it and say it in such a way, Bohamne, it's not going to help the opposition. That's all we are saying. Gambia, passing a fofu. You cannot build a business. Now I'm going to do it, and at the same time, I am going to basically lift up one ethnic group against another.
No, but it
doesn't make political sense.
But I've not seen the wave thing as being made political, though, has it been? I've seen people.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, people talking about it and all that. And I hope wave 2, maybe they can learn from it, whatever the motivation was or whatever. But anyway, are you guys back?
Yes, coach, we are back.
All right.
Okay. I know. Honorable Suwaibou.
Yes.
So you see, we're still haggling with network issues. So maybe that's something the National Assembly should do something about it. Maybe.
About. Hello?
Yes, can you hear me, sir?
Yes. You said, can you come back?
Yes. My name is Musa Jeng. I'm one of the panelists from Atlanta, and I'm joined with Sariang Marong, panelist. He's in Washington, and then of course your comrade, Pasam Bajau from Washington.
Yeah. That's right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes.
Good to have me. Good having me. Good to have. I'm glad about it.
Absolutely, Honorable Touray. I know that you don't need that much of an introduction, so I'm going to phrase it a little bit differently. We all know Suwaibou Touray with DOI for years.
Yeah.
How did you get to become a DOI member and believe in the DOI political party, Mr. Touray?
Okay, thank you very much. You know, I went to Sudukoba School, and from Sudukoba School, I was in St. George's Senior Secondary School. And while I was in St. George's Junior Secondary School, some of my teachers were coming from Form 6, from Armitage and from Gambia High School. And this was a period when Ghana had newly attained independence. And then they would come with Kwame Nkrumah's books and some progressive literature, which I would learn from them and read. So I've already been introduced to socialist literature well before I joined the PDOIS. But throughout that period, there was no legal socialist party. You had parties that were like Moja. You had also another socialist party, Gambia Socialist Party, something like that. But they were not legal socialist parties. So therefore, I was not a member of any of those parties. But when DOI came into being, and then there was a period when there were attempts to register the PDOIS, that found me in Gambia. And I just read one article. I think that was the first article that was written in the name of the PDOIS, which was explaining the objectives of why DOI should come into being, etc., etc. And when I read it, straight away, I connected from what I was reading during my school days and from my experience in Canada when I was following the National Democratic Party, which is also socialist in Canada. So automatically, it was an easy thing for me to decide that it is now time for me to also be an activist of the right party that I would choose. So that's how I joined the PDOIS and resigned from my position. But before I actually resigned from the Peace Corps, I had several discussions with Ali Fasalla, with Samsara, with Sidia Jata. And then I used to visit them at the small bureau that they have opened at Bunugakunda. And eventually they decided that I should run the small bureau at Bunugakunda because I've read all the literature that they have written and I've understood the literature so I could put people through when they come to the bureau. That's how I actually decided that this is the moment that I should resign from my position and come to join the PDOIS. And that's how I joined the PDOIS.
So, Honorable Touray, why do you think that at this juncture, we're talking about a country that is almost what, since 1965, close to 60 years old? Why do you think that DOI is the solution in terms of fighting poverty, in terms of changing the policies, in terms of setting the country to a totally different trajectory? Why do you think that DOI is definitely the solution, Honorable Touray?
Yes, thank you very much. You know, one of the reasons why PDOIS came into being is because in 1986, you have the ruling party, which was the PPP, and they had initially started with socialist programs. Actually, they started building the public base. They used the public base, public funds to build institutions. I think you would remember the National Trading Corporation, NTC. You will also know the Lady Rights. I think you know the Gambia River Transport. You have the GPTC, and then you have the GPMB, so etc., etc. So they've already built public institutions that were profitable, and development was going very fast, and employment was being generated as they developed institutions. But by 1986, when the IMF came into being and convinced the Gambia that they need to have a different program, which is the Economic Recovery Program. And the Gambia decided to accept that program with the IMF. And that program was not really here to recover the Gambian economy. It was just simply meant to repay the debts that Gambia owed to international lenders. So that's where the difficulties came. Since then, Gambia is being, it's like Gambia is being lured into, going into economic system that will only allow the private sector to operate as institutions. And therefore, we've given up all the public institutions, the money we get back, we've taken it to pay our loans. And since then, we have cut down on our social services, and not because of anything, but because we cannot afford it. We've cut down on all the public services, and then the state is just now meant to carry out services, but they cannot carry out durable services. They could not carry out services adequately because the funds are not necessarily there. Funds are mainly geared to paying debts. Up to today, the Gambia continues to take loans and then pay loans, take loans and pay loans, take grants and pay grants. So we continue to do that, and then we've neglected the public sector completely, and we said we are going to depend on a private sector, and that private sector, if we really look at it, the private sector cannot deal with some of the crucial areas, critical areas of development. For example, agriculture. Agriculture is a crucial area, sector for the Gambia, because it is the only area that can give us comparative advantage when it comes to our exports and our economy. But then since that time, all the regimes that come, the APRC and then now the MPP, continue to carry out those IMF programs. So the Gambia continues to take loans. Now we are to the tune of something like percent. Percent debt to GDP ratio. And therefore, the IMF at this juncture come to decide that the Gambia should not take any loan that does not have grant element. We cannot take any loan that does not have grant element. And therefore, we are restricted to taking loans. And now, the state, come up with another scheme, because they are restricted from taking loans. Now they come up with a scheme of, working with the Africa 50 to sort of mortgage some of the infrastructure, public infrastructure that we have, so they'll be able to, receive revenue from Africa 50. For example, I give you, the Africa 50 has given us, we are supposed to give us $100 million. And that will give us about $2.5 billion. And when they give us that, the Africa 50 will run our debt is infrastructure at Senegambia Bridge for 25 years. And, that money now is what they are spending to be able to build some roads here and there and to be able to carry out some of the development projects they want to do. So we are becoming more and more trapped. Now we are trapped from the area of taking loans. We are going to now mortgage all our infrastructure. And now it comes to the ports. Now we are going to mortgage the ports also to Albeira. I don't know, Albeira or something. And then they will be building these ports and be running them as well. And then it's like they will just be giving us a token of what they have received from those infrastructure. So we've not seen any new method of economic development which can really take Gambia to another level. Usually these type of countries, when they have, for example, they have resources, natural resources, which they could sell and be able to get income from that, then eventually they'll be able to use those income to be able to carry out services. But now, we cannot really even take care of our budget. Our budget is 54 billion.
Yeah.
And you will see that we have a deficit of something like 5 billion something. And we are going to be paying 15 billion to the IMF, to the international lenders. So as we continue like this, we will not be able to develop this country. So I am convinced that really to have the public sector, carrying out, projects, to have the public sector coming up with projects in the productive base will be the something that will be adding up to whatever we receive, whatever revenue we receive from the private sector, the public sector, and then whatever we receive from the public sector, which is considered as non-tax, will be added to the revenue, and that will give us sufficient money, sufficient funds to be able to carry out services. Otherwise, we'll not be able to carry out services because we are not receiving sufficient revenue from.
Okay, Mr. Touray, we're going to circle back. Mr. Touray, we're going to circle back, and I'm going to press you on a little bit, challenge you about, what you call mortgaging the assets. But I'm going to allow my other panelists to ask the questions. And again, we're going to be here for an hour and a half, 2 hours. We're going to ask specific questions, challenge you, and just let's summarize the answers, because we're going to give you the opportunity to really tell us exactly why you think the DOI government is the real solution to where we are as a country at the moment. Brother Marong.
Honorable Touray, thank you very much for joining us today. My first question is, you talk about the uncontrollable debt that the country has currently. Can you share with the viewers what is the ratio between domestic and international, where we stand in terms of borrowing?
Yes, thank you. I do not have the figures right now, but from on top of my head, the domestic debt had gone up to 35% of our debt, which has gone up to 35 billion something. And then we have the public, the international debt, which takes the rest. And then that gives us 4% of the 75% of the debt to the rate of debt to the percentage of debt to the debt itself. So you'll see that we are talking about almost 70, very close to 100 billion, dollars debt that we have now. And when DOI was coming into being, we were talking about 3 billion. Yes, I know there is inflation that has taken place, but despite all that, the debt is now, even the government has accepted that it is not sustainable the way we are going. and the IMF also has accepted that it is not sustainable. That this is a debt that we must look for different ways of, carrying out our responsibility without having to take loans. And that's why I was telling Mr. Jane that what has happened is that the IMF now has accepted with the Gambia government that we will not take debt, we do not have a grant element. And those type of loans are not easy to come by. It looks like there is some difficulty in getting certain loans from other areas, and Gambia will not even be able to go to those areas. So that is the situation now. The ratio to debt is about 70-something%, which is not close to the 60%, which is preferable to in any economic situation. 60 would have been better, but above 60 is not preferable.
Thank you, Honorable Touray. Honorable Touray, I heard you and I listened carefully. But I mean, a lot of people will say, with all these challenges that the country face, debt increasing, what are the other co-branch or co-equal branch of the government doing, especially the NAMs? We've seen increases for the salaries and allowances, the loans. I mean, what is the NAM doing to restrain the executive branch in terms of making sure they are in compliance with what you've just articulated in terms of IMF saying any loan needs to be matched with a grant? I mean, what is the next approach or the position of NAMS to ensure that government is in full compliance with that proposition?
Yes, thank you. It looks like the names are not in the same wavelength. From my own angle, I keep on asking the Minister of Finance so that we can come up with a bill which must come from the Minister of Finance, of course, which will restrict, which will create a ceiling for the Gambia as to how much loan we can take. We must be able to restrict ourselves. But the government is not even in that situation. The government does not want that, because they are saying they don't have they've not carried out credit rating to know exactly the Gambia's capacity in terms of taking loans. And since they are not going into commercial loans, then for them, there is no need to even have a credit rating, because they are not going to commercial loans. They are just going into loans that will have grants. So it means that for them, the way they restrict themselves is simply to wait for opportunities to take loans that have grant element. If they don't have that, then they will not take loans. That's why I was explaining. That's why they are going into the other dimension of how to get. You must have revenue. And the other dimension of getting revenue is to actually mortgage some of the public infrastructure that we have. For example, with Africa 50, with Iberia, those type of management will also give them ready-made money which they can use to carry out some social services. So as it stands now, your question, I've not seen the National Assembly will not be able to do anything apart from, complaining that you should reduce debt, But what the government is saying is that they have reduced the debts to the minimum. For them, it is to the bare minimum where they have reached, and they cannot go beyond that.
Thank you. Go ahead, Coach.
Alpha Suwaibou, I'm going to pivot a little bit. You're now taking over a party which in 2 months or so, you'll be 40 years in existence. A party that has history. You are now the Secretary General of the party. What is the state of DOI And what direction are you taking the party to make it achieve its long-term goal of finally governing this country?
Yeah, that's a very good question. We are working very hard. Like you know, what we have is collective leadership, and the leadership is working on coming up with a strategic objective, and that strategic objective, in terms of a strategic plan, which the center committee eventually that's what we are going to use as to how we are going to go about. But I will tell you off my head that they has reached a level where the consciousness of the people is rising. And what used to restrict us for more than 20 years since we came into being was the media, until we had to create our own media so that we'll be able to help ourselves to carry out our messages. But now you have, for example, what we're having now, we now have open media. We have no restriction to media because even though the public media is, still continuing with their traditional restrictions, but the social media has no boundaries now. And a lot of people are dependent on the social media. So, which means that that is not a restriction for us, as far as I'm concerned. Now, we have created structures in as many places as possible. But from my own assessment, those structures need to be consolidated. They need to be strengthened and they need to be consolidated. You have regional structures, you have diaspora structures, and you have ward structures, you have village structures, and you have constituency structures. All these structures, you don't just say we have people on the ground, but those people must also be built to become quality. They must be quality activists. They must become quality members. And which means that what I am telling you now, any member of DOI should have been able to come here and then, discuss with people on the DOI programs and DOI manifesto, whatever, to be able to carry out the message. And they also must learn. You cannot just become an activist and also requires tactics and strategy. So what we are going to do is is to continue to establish as many workshops, small gatherings to be able to put our members through. That's the number one thing that we must do. I'm not sorry, this. Yes, that's the number one thing that we must do to enlighten our people more, to educate our people more, to train them more as to how they should go about activism in their various areas to continue to mobilize and mobilize and mobilize.
Babsama, there are a couple of guys that are also on the lobby. You want me to bring them in?
Who?
Is this Alaji Job and Usman Jawara?
No.
Yeah.
I think somebody, they shared the link. No, you don't have to bring this thing. It's on the...
Yeah.
I
It's interesting, even though the internet is not helping very much. But I like where Suwaibou is going. I mean, going after the whole idea of something that I really believe that if there is one thing that I support is this idea of PPP. It looks like he has issues with that. In terms of, he talked about Africa 50, the Al-Bayrak, and
Yep.
I really want to...
The mortgaging of our resources.
Yeah, he called it. Yeah, I really want to kind of push back on that point.
Well, you can push back. We'll push back too.
So I'm looking forward to. So many Fadamos, have you did UMC for Doi? But I'm not wearing the brown. Won't get it.
So,
Huh?
So I'm the promotion. It's interesting. It's just sometimes interviewing people in the Gambia can be very frustrating.
It can be. It can be.
In the internet connection, you know.
That is why what the country needs now is bold leadership. Somebody that would come.
And you know what leadership that is?
Uh-huh.
The one that is tested 40 years of unblemished record. And that's DOI, the People's Democratic Organization for Independence and Socialism.
You know,
a government of the people, for the people, and by the people in its true form.
At this critical juncture, the transformational leader that the country yearns for is a leadership that thinks outside of the box, not a leadership that is kind of engulfed in rigidity, not a leadership that...
and which leadership is engulfed in rigidity, though?
No, I'm not...
Okay.
I'm just saying that what the country needs, it's a new transformation.
Paramos.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Maron. Sarian.
Can you guys still hear me?
Oh,
yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
There was a bit of pause, so
yeah. If I were you, I would play the ad while we wait for them to come back.
Yeah, we can also do that.
Yeah.
And
I can hear you, Coach, but I can't hear Musa. So
you can't hear me? Oh, that's a problem. If you cannot hear me, then you cannot hear the show. Hearing Pasamba alone doesn't do it, my brother. You gotta hear the man and the man himself. You cannot. Can you hear me now? You know about that ad? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that was a Verizon ad, you know.
But I can hear who else? Global Properties. I can hear them loud and...
No deposit, flexible payment plans, and lots of discounts. Get your Lakeview apartment today.
Brother Maron, can you still hear me? I guess not. He can't hear me, Pasamba.
No.
I guess not.
What Gambia, Mom?
But Pasamba,
it's bad.
Though, he started out by basically talking about the NTCs, the GPMBs.
Coach, for some reason I can only hear you, but I can't hear Musa. I don't know why. You know.
Yeah, maybe if I wait, maybe you drop off and just come back.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
So but the reason why these public enterprises, and even today, we're looking at public enterprises that are not actually working. I mean, you can blame the government of the day, or maybe there is just something that is inherently not very viable when it comes to public enterprises.
I think that's a lazy excuse.
No, I don't know whether this Elijah Job is for Demba. I mean, it's for...
No, it's not for Demba. They are not even they're in two different countries. I think Demba mistakenly shared the StreamYard link to one of the...
They're trying to watch it from... So Elijah Job and Demba, I think you guys can watch it.
If Demba is there, bring Demba. Demba is with Suwaibou.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You did not see Demba?
Yeah, I just click on it.
Yeah.
Demba, are you in?
It's not coming on the screen. It's just saying black. But Musa, let's look at even when the ERP came about in the 80s. It was because they wanted to recover the debt that was given to the PPP at that time. So they came up with a formula and said economic recovery program, which we call the debt recovery program.
But just not find it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this should be, I don't know why it's appearing on the screen. Understand.
Yeah, Demba yang ñu dégg.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, but we cannot see you guys.
Can you hear me, Honorable Touray?
That boy Fatima Yabatari. New technology is not for senior citizens. Well, Demba is not a senior citizen. So I don't know who you call a senior citizen. Musa Ajeng is a senior citizen right here.
I am not a senior citizen.
You know.
So, boy, Fatty.
Yeah, you know what? I think Bokarba is right. When I did Musa, this a deliberate attempt to stop us with your petty bourgeois movement.
You know, this maybe is a reaffirmation that leadership thinking outside of the box. AOA, we are talking about the AI transformational kind of leadership. That's what the country needs. We need bold thinking outside of the box in terms of not only strategic thinking, but a lot of things. And that's what UMC would bring to the table. Talib Ahmed Benson.
Maybe do I just have, are you able to, but if you call them on WhatsApp, you so you'll have to be the one relaying the thing. So that's not going to work. You know.
But why don't he just come in without the video? Maybe.
All right.
Okay, there comes them again.
You know what? You are right, Boy Fatty.
You are connected to this. Yes. So they are sending me messages.
It doesn't come on the screen.
It's other people
That's whether
relating to this now.
What browser are they using?
The same one that they were using. Never has done this before. Now we have Wi-Fi. We're using even a router at the bureau. It's not this thing. So
Yes, coach.
Yeah.
yes, we are hearing you guys. Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
All right. So let's go.
It's the network which is.
Yeah, that's the underdevelopment under capitalism. You know, if you have 66 years of capitalism, that's what you have. But Suwaibou, now this is my next question. Are you hearing me now?
We did not finish the other question.
Yeah, you can go ahead and finish. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Let me complete that. I was saying that you need what they need now is to train its cadre so that they become trained people who can actually do mobilization and organization wherever they are. They will contribute, like I said, when they are fully trained, they will be able to participate in all social activities, all issues they'll be able to address. And apart from the training, when you want people to do work, you have to provide the means, at least do as much as possible to provide the necessary means. For example, it can be a notebook, mobile phone, can be a bicycle, pedal bicycle, can be a motorbike, can be a vehicle. These are all things that we need to be able to, be solid on the ground, to be able to strengthen our bureaus, our committees in the regions, etc., etc. So that's where we are heading to. Apart from we will also need other issues. For example, in our bureaus, we need all these internet gadgets there. This is the 21st century. You need communication is very easy in the world now. So that means that if we are fit into all that, I believe that we will be able to new direction.
Yeah. So okay, Suwaibou.
So that's the opportunity we have now to train our people, to give them the means to organize, the means to mobilize. I believe that if we take that direction, we'll be able to be a new movement that will bring new results.
All right. So you talk about all these issues. In fact, prior to you coming on, there was a lot of discussion about funding for political parties. We've seen political parties that are not even registered now with their motor bicycles and their cars and all that stuff. So, and there are people, rightly or wrongly, questioning the source of those funds. And you know how hard it is to run parties. How can DOI remain relevant, raise funds cleanly, the necessary funds to be able to achieve the goals that you outlined here today? Hello? Hello? Yeah, there is something not right.
You too.
Yeah, can you increase the volume? Sure.
Yes.
Mobile.
It's a guy you've been shared Libini.
Hello, Coach.
Yeah, Demba. No, drop on you, Musa. Unless Demba. Like anybody who is watching from the window, the link, Demba, that I sent you for this thing was only for you. So they cannot watch from that. They have to go to YouTube or watch it from Facebook. So we'll just drop them.
Yeah, I'm dropping them.
Just don't drop Demba.
No, I'm not dropping Demba, but Demba is not even appearing. I think that's one of the problems. He needs to go out and come back again. Because somehow, I don't know what it is, because even if I add him, I'm getting an error message. Can you, Honorable Touray, Demba, can you hear me?
Let me mute myself and just call him. Most you can.
So I think we were talking about some of these public enterprises. And this is where I really want to kind of interrogate with Honorable Touray. Because when he's talking about some of these public enterprises, whether it was NTC and GPTC and GPMB, these entities were not viable, because the way you look at a public enterprise is basically service delivery. You can say that, okay, government is putting together these enterprises to be able to do A, B, C, D, E, F. GPTC, we had transportation issues. It was formed to make sure that, there is transportation from Banjul to Koina. Service delivery. It doesn't even have to be, looking at the bottom line, but then it has to be viable. It has to be able to fund itself, because before that, these were all government entities. And we all know how government entities are run sometimes. They run it to the ground. So the whole idea, the whole concept behind public enterprises were to commercialize them and make them viable. But it didn't work. And it hasn't worked up till today. We all see what is happening at Gamtel. You put Gamtel and then you have the competition within the private sector. Those are better run organizations, whether it's QCell or AfroCell. So folks are saying, you know what, maybe government needs to get out of this business. According to Suwaibou, it looks like, government is the answer. And I cannot for the life of me.
I'm back in now. I'm getting lots. They say that you something and then there's one. Need to get it. So you can talk to them. That was meant for me alone.
One of the problems is, Pasama, when I add them,
okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay.
That on stage just doesn't work. I don't know why.
Okay.
State manager, tell us. I don't know, man. I have no freaking idea. Honorable Touray, can you hear me, sir?
No, most one and put you drop off and then come back. So because I was telling them whatever conversation they were having was coming on. It looks like they're still having that conversation. But Miss, I understand what you were saying. But what I also want to say more, what gave led to ERP in the first place?
Right.
The Gambia gained its independence in 1965. By 1980, 81, 82, after the 81 coup or so, around 83, that was when the IMF and the World Bank came with this program talking about economic recovery program. Because we had taken so much debt that time, Jawara was saying that it was unsustainable. So we had to repay that debt. So either way you look at it, you can also say the PPP mismanaged the economy within a short period of time that it required these people to come in and say, you know what, how do we get our money back? Now, yes, public enterprises sometimes are poorly run, but then that also becomes the responsibility of the people who are entrusted with running it and those who entrusted them with the responsibility. Because
can you hear us? I think they should call us on WhatsApp. I don't think this is working. Yeah. Because for whatever reason, I cannot even add him. And
no, they have to drop off altogether. They have not dropped off.
No, but when I kick them out from the studio completely.
Hello.
Yeah, but Suwaibou is still here. So how did you kick them out?
No, I just did. But
Suwaibou, are you hearing us?
No, now it's off. So maybe they need to come through audio. We'll try that and see. I mean, I'm not sure what something is blocking it, like blocking it. I don't know why it's been blocked. Maybe so Demba entered at the stage. Maybe
no, but how many Dembas do you have? Because it looks like there is somebody still on.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, Suwaibou, can you hear us?
Yeah. Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, so Suwaibou, can you just continue?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So Suwaibou, the question that I asked earlier, are you hearing me?
Oh, yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay. So my question was about financing. We've seen now DOI has always been against the politics of patronage, the politics of inducement. And to fund the party would need to achieve these programs that you set forth. The party would need funding. How will DOI be able to achieve those objectives by only getting money that is raised cleanly, without corporations or individuals with huge bank accounts bankrolling the party? Also, how do we do that? How does DOI under Suwaibou Touray raise funds that are clean and in the most dignified and legal way?
Yes, what we have done is to create a finance committee, and we also created what we called we have this other committee which will attract investments, so that DOI members and whoever wants to be part of that sovereign fund. You'll be able to put in your investment, and we'll put it into an investment which will generate resources, which will generate profit, and then you who is a shareholder, you will get your share, while the party also will get something for operating it. So we want to do that, and through that it requires a lot of training of our cadres again, so that those who are going into that business arrangement, they will be able to run those enterprises in a more profitable. That is one way that we want to go, in addition to our continuous monthly due of our members. We encourage all members to continue to pay monthly due. And then when it comes to programs, we encourage all members to pay something towards the program. For example, now we are in the process of monitoring the registration process, which will require some funds across the country. You have a lot of almost 3,000 something polling stations where these registration teams are going to go. In all the polling stations, they will go there to be able to register those who need registration. So, but we will also have to monitor them. And in order to monitor them, we'll have to put these cadres, these activists, to be stationed there, throughout the period, so that they'll be able to know exactly what is going on, whether the registration is going on legally, or there are some hitches, or there are some malpractices, etc., so that we'll be able to document this thing and then use it for our own purpose and for the national purpose as well. So in terms of fundraising, we will want to, for me, I'm thinking of multi-pronged methods or multi-layered methods that will not stick to one way of raising funds, but will ensure that wherever there are clean, funds which are not in any way illegal, they will now go into, attracting those funds, so that we'll be able to do our work properly, to be able to train our people, to be able to run our programs, to be able to operate, our branches, to the best of our ability. I believe if we engage in that, it will pay, more dividend. It will pay something that will take us further to our objective in building the party.
Thank you.
Hello?
Most.
Yeah.
Oh, Sarian.
Is it Sarian or me? I don't know.
No, Most. Go ahead. I saw
So,
Sarian. Yeah, it's you.
Honorable Touray.
Yes.
Back in 2016, I want to take you back because you were there.
Yes.
We were under a dictatorship. We had Jammeh at the helm. We came together as an opposition, and a coalition was formed. And one of the pillars, one of the things that we all kind of come together was to stop self-perpetuating rule, meaning, and it was very specific, no one should ever be able to be president for 10 years. So, Honorable Touray, do you understand when people say that, even though the Constitution says there is no term limit, but do you understand, and how do you react for people saying that Barrow should not run for third term? Because this is what we fought for, this is what we believe. What is your reaction, Honorable Touray?
It looks like he's frozen. Yeah, okay. Suwaibou.
Can you hear me? Did you hear the question?
No, it's the internet.
Maybe internet bita mi dal moy lolu.
I'm listening. Sometimes it is.
Okay, so did you hear the gist of the question?
Yeah. It's their end.
Most, just repeat the question.
Yeah, I'm seeing them.
Okay, so let me repeat the question.
Okay.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing.
Okay. The question is, back in 2016, we came together as an opposition party. A coalition was formed and Jammeh was defeated. And one of the reasons, one of the major reasons was that we came together to stop self-perpetuating rule, meaning no other person will ever be elected for more than 10 years. How do you react for people saying that Barrow should not run for a third term, even though there is no term limit in the Constitution? How do you react? What is your reaction to the idea that Barrow should be stopped not to run for a third term, based on where we came from back in?
Yes, you're asking about my reaction. My personal feeling is that it is not going to be ethical for him to run for a third term. I believe that any president that has been there for 10 years and you still insisting that you have not completed your development plans, etc., I think those were just excuses. I believe that if you are in power for 10 years, whatever you did not achieve in that should be able to give way for another one to come up with new plans. So whether the Constitution says it or not, it is my belief that ethically and morally, if you are in that position, it should be enough for you to say, well, I have spent my time, I have done my trials, and this is what I am able to achieve. Because what you are talking about your achievements, if you are talking about your achievements, actually the best of everybody. That whoever has been there for 10 years, that person should give way. And it's an insult to also say that I've been with people in a political party for this number of years, and then there is nobody in that party that can replace me. We've learned from Jawara. Jawara has been here, and people have, a lot of criticism came against Jawara, and then his people continue to say that, if we don't have Jawara, who will we have? Who can we put there? It means that we spent almost 20 to 30 years without Jawara grooming a successor, which is also an insult to the people you are working with. So I don't think that that is an excuse to say that I have nobody to replace me. Like what he's saying now, he's saying I don't want my party to die.
Exactly.
I don't want my party to die. For him, that is the excuse for not stepping down. But for me, those are just excuses.
So Honorable Touray, clearly there is a betrayal. Clearly,
if you do, the more you will not want to leave that position. It becomes leave that office because you feel that you will go into a commission of inquiry and you may be tried and your properties may be confiscated. So you have a lot to lose by leaving that. That's why people should not stay that long. You can see in Benin, the president in Benin with this election that is taking place decided not to stand. He insisted that that is his term, and his term has come to the end, and he will not stand. And then he will go with the good president. So I believe that 10 years is enough for any president on this earth.
So Honorable Touray, clearly we all see that NPP is going to do whatever it takes to win this election, and that starts with making sure that President Barrow is going to run for a third term. My question is, what do you think the opposition should do to make sure we stop him from getting elected for a third term? Because it's one thing that obviously he doesn't care about the ethics of it, the one that you are talking about. He doesn't care about whatever memorandum of understanding that was signed going all the way to almost 10 years ago. None of that. They don't care about that. Now the question is, what are we going to do about it? And you being the Secretary General of PDOIS, well-respected, credible voice, What are you going to do about it to make sure that this man is stopped and his party? Honorable Touray.
Yeah, you have only two methods when you want to really come together to do something meaningful in terms of elections in this country now. One is you have to either have an alliance or you have a coalition. Alliance is either one party joins the other parties or other parties join the other party and accept their leader, or parties come together and have a process which they will all subscribe to, which they will all respect, the outcome of which they will all respect. So as far as I'm concerned, we have to become politicians who will have to love their country. If we really believe that we need change, and we cannot advance our democracy, we cannot enhance our democracy, we cannot improve what is being here, we need to come together in some form. And we must forgo our individual egos to ensure that we are able to come together. As far as today is concerned, we are not hungry for who will lead the coalition. That is not our fight. Our fight is what are we going to do after we have taken over. That is very important to us. We want credible leadership. That is one. We want quality leadership. We want leadership that will adhere to the agreement, and that is the difficult part. We are talking about 2016. 2016 to now, the Gambian people, together with the Gambian people, have learned. We have learned lessons which is difficult to convince the Gambian people when you want to join with certain people. But as far as I'm concerned, I come to the conclusion that whoever subscribed to a process and subscribe to a manifesto which has something embedded which belongs to all of us, that we are all inclusive in that manifesto. And that manifesto is clearly explained to the Gambian people well before the election, so that the people actually understand this is what we want to do. I believe that when we come together and come up with such a thing, we'll be able to, we are talking about you have to have a political program in the manifesto, you have to have an economic dimension in that manifesto. And these two must be understood by the Gambian people. So that once you take over, the coalition is working together with the people. And once you want to, go away from that arrangement, the people themselves will come up with you. If you look at the example of Senegal, and we must learn from each other, you will see that the pastor, the National Assembly is controlled by the pastor. And then we have a presidency. But that presidency would want to do certain things, but that person will not be able to do that, will not be able to use his executive powers, because the parliament is always together. So what we had in Gambia, we had the parliament together, but after a while, that parliament becomes fragmented by virtue of the political parties that became fragmented. So in order to come up with credible, durable, and quality coalition, we do everything to ensure that everybody subscribes to that arrangement where we will all be inclusive in there. It should not be, those ideas should not come from one party, but it should be from all parties. So what we are doing now, from our end, with the Team Gambia, working with the Team Gambia, is to consult all political parties to know what their stand is regarding coalition building, and what they would want to see in a collective manifesto. And then all these parties are telling the Team Gambia what they want, and then the Team Gambia will eventually come up with what we call position paper, or a position paper, which will be circulated to all the parties well before the meeting, so that all parties will say, well, this is what we want there, but we don't want this there. And then all the agreements All the things that we have agreed together, we will keep that as our agreement. All the things that we have disagreement, we take those disagreements aside. And I believe that when it comes to issues like electoral reform, when it comes to issues like democratic reform, constitutional reform, we will be together when we actually need the country. So I believe that that's what we need to do to ensure that we have as many of these opposites coming together and accepting and then endorsing that agreement and then working together in the community everywhere across the country to explain this manifesto to everybody so that everybody understands. Everybody that matters, everybody that is interested, understand this agreement so that tomorrow any deviation from that agreement, you will have a backlash not only from the political parties but from the people themselves. In that political manifesto, it is one of my thinking, this is just coming from me, that we should not have an executive presidency. We should have a president who will appoint people from political parties or from political parties or identified by political parties based on their qualification and experience. And therefore, when we have that, when the president wants to dismiss that, there must be a genuine reason why you want to dismiss that person. And
yeah. Unfortunately, we can't hear him, and he's saying something absolutely important.
Yep.
And we can't hear what he's saying. Pastor, I like where he's going with this. I mean, again,
I know when people talk about coalition, how excited you get. So
no, because I mean, the only reason why I'm excited because I see it as the surest way.
We have agreed. This time, 5 years. Once we agreed to the time frame of the coalition, it is over. That time we will already have a level playing field in our democratic process, and there will not be any need for every election cycle for political parties to fight to be able to come together to form a coalition. We will all be able to put up, our candidates, and then see our chance in terms of our popularity in the community. And then when we do that, we will know who is first and who is second, and then we allow them to go to second round. This is what is in all democracies that are serious in Africa. And then it is working. And therefore, I don't see any reason why Africa should not, or Gambia should not adopt such a thing. I believe that if we do that, all the squabble during elections will be reduced. And then a level playing field will be something that will take Gambia and Gambia's democracy forward.
Yeah.
Hello?
Sarian.
Is Sarian on? I don't think, is Sarian on?
Sarian. So okay. So let me just ask a follow-up though.
I think Musa, if you can, because he was talking about the composition, the appointment, and that's where we lost him a little bit. So if he can come back and maybe explain what he meant, like how the president was supposed to appoint from parties or people identified by parties, what happens? You were explaining that one, we didn't get the whole thing because of the internet.
I was saying that in the coalition agreement, we should not just agree and say we have agreed to a 5-year term, and then we sign that, and then we will also agree to, we have to learn from the past. I'm saying this time, make it broad and include things like even how appointments should be done, to go even to the extent of agreeing as to, for example, how many ministerial positions in cabinet will belong to a political party. You understand? Based on the importance of that coalition. For example, if you look at the opposition in terms of the votes, you will see that the UDP is high. If you are going into an argument like that with the UDP, you can say, for example, let's give UDP 5 ministerial positions.
Right.
And those ministers will have to be identified by the UDP. Either they come from the UDP or UDP identifies them. And then you go to other political parties based on their standing. You can say, for example, we are going to give you 1 or we are going to give you 2, and then which you identify. So if we do it all that, the person will eventually have to come. But when the person comes, there have to be some kind of technical team that will vet, a vetting committee that will vet the qualification of that particular person. If that person is not qualified to handle the past position, then it has to be returned to that political party to come up with another person who will likely meet the criteria. So if people are appointed in that way, and then the president also will not be given that carte blanche to remove anybody and replace anybody. Because if you do that, it means that we are going back to square one. The president will just wait for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and then remove somebody and replace the person with his or her person. So to avoid all that, the president should bring an allegation to parliament to say, this is the reason why I want to remove this person from his position. And then the parliament will inquire into that. I was talking about the parliament. That parliament is not the parliament that we have now, but it will be a parliament that will be supportive of the coalition. For example, if you look at given the example of Senegal, I'm not sure whether you captured that. I was saying the Senegalese parliament is not controlled by the president. He is the president, but he is not controlling the parliament. The parliament is more controlled by the party leader, who is Ousmane Sonko. And therefore, the president will want to do certain things to deviate from the coalition agreement, but then the coalition will not agree for him to deviate. They will take the matter to the parliament, and the parliament will reject some of those deviations. And the parliament will only be sticking to what is in the coalition interest. So I am saying that if we do things like that and put as much of those caveats in the agreement, so that everybody will come and do whatever he or she wants, I believe that that will help us in what we want to do.
So Honorable Touray, though, per the current constitution, 1997, I mean, president-elect can come and then just fire Honorable Touray, because the constitution gives him the right to do that. And there won't be, nobody will be able to stop him unless and until the constitution is changed.
Yes. Who is going to change that constitution? I am saying, if we have a coalition that is succeeding, and the National Assembly becomes the National Assembly of the coalition, the first thing you do is to change those provisions to meet the powers of the president, so that he will not be able to carry out those things. That's what I was saying. He is able to do those things only the constitution. So you just change the constitution and bar him from having those powers.
So Honorable Touray, another important element. We all know that the reason why there is a problem with this coalition is who is going to lead it. How is Team Gambia going to approach that? Because I think that is most people, that is the issue right there. If we find answer to that, I mean, every other thing, I mean, it's like a walk in the park. In other words, what are we going to put in place to make sure that all these parties will subscribe to how this person is going to be selected to lead the coalition?
Yes, thank you. What I have observed from my own observation, I have just come from the countryside. I told my constituency, but I also told some parts of URR. But what I have heard the people say is that the 2016 coalition was not entirely bad. It was just that the way it went, as we go into implementing or running a government, that's where things went. So I'm saying, let us learn from all those mistakes, all those shortcomings, and so that we come up with a coalition program which it is parties that are willing, people who are willing to be part of that process, If you are not subscribing to that process, we cannot force you to be in that process. But I believe that from what I heard from the people is that they want a coalition that will bring down this government. And now if they are saying that to me and they are saying it to everybody else, that is what is going to compel all political parties to subscribe to an arrangement where they will be able to, where they will have some kind of equality with other political parties and carry out a transition. So I believe that the way we are going, and from what I am hearing from the Gambian people, if all the political parties are hearing the same information, I think they will limit themselves. They will limit their ego, their desire to become president, and just subscribe to a process when they, which will be signed in the public and which will be propagated and advocated for in the public, so that we are equal and we're moving together in the national interest to ensure that we just simply want to have a transition to a better system, a better electoral system, a better constitutional system, which will augur for everybody. As you know, right now, when a party wins an election, it's a winner takes everything. The winner takes everything. Nothing else is fixed in there. We have to think of how do we make our government inclusive to ensure that yes, you can win, but that does not mean that you will take everything. Others too will benefit from that, because whether we like it or not, there are people who are in politics just for position's sake. They want to have a position, and you cannot. And they have people who are following them. So if they subscribe to the arrangement, you allow them to be part of the arrangement. You cannot say only my thinking, my idea is 100% the best, and nobody's idea is better. No, you have to do away with that. You will have to accommodate all the ideas from all the political parties, and let them all be included in the manifesto, so that all of us see us in that manifesto, and then we come up with strategies that will ensure that nobody is removed from that coalition government unduly, unfairly, unless you have done something wrong that will warrant you to come out. I think if we propagate this among each other, we will be able to agree to all genuine people, I believe, who really want to bring about change, will want to subscribe to such a thing, so that we will come together, knowing that we are Gambians who cannot change the situation right now as it is without having to collaborate with other people to bring that change. So I believe that that is what is motivating many people to consult us, and that is what is also motivating us to also consult other people, so that we will be able to collaborate and bring that change.
Yeah, I think the Linga Mom said no which. I mean, one can agree or to disagree, but I think it's clear as day. Pap Samba or Marong, because I want to kind of do a follow-up, but I want to get you guys.
I got a question, so before Coach comes in. So
okay, go ahead, Marong. No, I called on Nala earlier, but you kind of
no, it's all good. It's all good. So, Honorable Touray, I heard you, and clearly, as Musa stated. But now, how do you square? Obviously, Gambia is not Senegal, and our current predicament or our composition within, the National Assembly is totally different. Now, you spoke about the possibility of restraining the executive, but the Constitution doesn't support that. The Constitution gave a lot of power to the executive. So what is your thinking in terms of making changes to that approach? Because we can telegraph everything that we want, but if it's not in line with the Constitution, it's gonna fail, and we're gonna pretty much expose ourselves to legal means. So how do you square that with our current composition? How the representation in NAM, representation of NAMs for various political parties, and our Constitution, and how do we replicate that? I guess that's what my question is.
Yes, I quite agree with what you are saying, But what you are looking at the present situation, I'm looking at the future situation. In the future situation, for example, if you look at Senegal, you will see that the National Assembly they found there, know that if we go for presidential election, the president we are going to have will have a parliament immediately. You have to inherit this parliament that we have now. Okay, but it's going to be only for 3 months. And that parliament will be dissolved, and then we'll go for elections. So I am foreseeing a situation where if the coalition wins an election, a presidential election in Gambia, and the coalition work together, and they are not fragmented. They work together in the National Assembly elections, are likely to dominate the incoming parliament for the coalition. And in that scenario, that coalition, that parliament will change. I think you remember in 2017, when the coalition was actually together, we are in spirit. Even if we are not together, we are in spirit. Brought, how do you call it, age limit. The bill to remove the age limit from the constitution. Did it take time? It did not take time for us to pass that. We debated just a little and then we remove it. So that time we were together, UDP and DOI and NRP, we were in spirit and we were dominating the National Assembly. So therefore, we just allowed that to pass. If they had brought, if the political will was there, if they had brought all these laws that we are talking about to limit the powers of the president, and to make some constitutional changes, we would have agreed and then we would have passed. It was our thinking that this is just the beginning. They brought limit to the age, and then other things will follow. But we see that as we move on, those who are in government decided to have different ideas, and they begin to change things there. But I believe that if the composition of the parliament is maintained and the spirit is maintained, we'll be able to change those laws to limit the power of the presidency from carrying out certain things. And then when it comes to even coming with the constitutional review, we'll be able to carry out the constitutional review in a very simple way, change the constitution, and then, because the first thing that needs to be done in that constitutional review, one, is to, for example, limit the threshold of 75%, which is very, very high. Parliament can go and reduce it to 60%, and then we take it to the people, and then they are able to endorse that. After they have endorsed that, then we will bring the constitution, the draft constitution itself, and then it will be approved by the assembly, and then it will go to the people for endorsement. And there we'll have a new constitution, and in that new constitution, you will not have an executive presidency that will carry out certain things that we are talking about that had happened in the past. So that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking in the future that in the future we will have a different parliament from what we have now.
Thank you, Honorable Touray. Honorable Touray, I want to also follow up. I heard you talk about in detail the composition of the coalition and selection criteria. But I want to ask, obviously, there are smaller parties, there are bigger parties based on past elections and everything. So what would you call, or what would be a formula that is acceptable or even fair to put this whole concept to fruition? In, let's say, do you see the green at the light of the tunnel, and how do we approach that? Because obviously different parties have different approaches in terms of who needs to lead and the composition of coalition. So what say you, as Musa Jem would say, to that approach?
Like I said, you have just like you're saying, you have different approaches. But the approach that we are talking about, unless somebody else comes with another idea, like I said, we are consulting. We are consulting different parties, and they are coming up with different ideas. And then I cannot preempt what they have been telling the Team Gambia. But from what I have heard, it was very positive what they are telling Team Gambia. And first time they would come and they would be put in the picture, and then they would say, well, we are going to think about it. And then they would go and think about it and come back again and then say, well, this is how we think about it. So I believe that, yes. So if that is the case, we will put those ideas together. And then, just like you are saying, no single idea is enough. We'll have to take ideas from each other. If, for example, you have a bigger party that would say, for example, let's say UDP, that would say, no, instead of us bringing, let's say, 10 people from each region, or 20 from, we don't want to be equal with all parties. We feel that our number is higher than other numbers. That is something that can be considered. Members can sit down and then consider whether they can give an edge to that part. I'm just brainstorming. We are brainstorming now. That could be something that could be discussed. Not everything should be put on the table so that it's fully discussed and agreed to. That's how I feel it. A process must be put in place if you want to make it a coalition that will be acceptable to everybody. And once that process goes through, and then it is endorsed by everybody, the outcome of that process must be accepted by all those players. And that's the only way I feel that we can make a headway. But as I said, the Team Gambia is working. Apex is also another opposition grouping, which is also consulting. There is a Malik, somebody I think is from APP, that is, or PAP, that is also consulting people. So I think as we move on, we will be able to put our ideas on table and then discuss and may perhaps come up with something that is agreeable to all of us.
Thank you, Honorable Touray. Thank you very much.
Suwaibou, I'm going to
there's no
from coalition.
There's no certainty, yes, but how things are going to evolve. Huh?
Yes.
Hello.
So I just wanna move you quickly from coalition talk with Musa Jenglong to something else. Mr. Touray, you are a member of the Human Rights Committee of the National Assembly. We've seen recently, yes, a ruling was made by the court acquitting somebody and granting them bail only for the state to violate the rights of those people by abducting them, because that was not even a rearrest, it's an abduction. We've seen the Attorney General come and pretty much acknowledged that what they did was unconstitutional. As a member of the Human Rights Committee, what is the state of human rights in the Gambia as it relates to unfettered respect of the laws, including the constitution of our country, by the executive?
Yeah. Well, it looks like you have the certain things have been done there. We have the criminal offences bill, which we reviewed. Our committee reviewed that. We scrutinized that very well for many, many years. And it's laid before the parliament and is approved. It's adopted now. And it is assented to by the president. We also work on the criminal procedure bill, which we did the same thing, scrutinized it very well, and then try to make it as modern as possible. Remove all those human rights violations accepted in the olden days. Because those laws were here for 100 years. The criminal offences bill has not been reviewed for more than 100 years. The criminal procedure bill has not been adopted. So what has happened is that the police are used to the old way of the colonial way of implementing laws. That's what they are used to. And they have forgotten that we have a new criminal procedure bill. And I think, for me, I believe that is the reason why they made that blunder that they have made. Because if they have been looking at the new act, they would not have done that. I think what has happened is that after they made the blunder, the Justice Ministry decided to look at the law closely, and they have discovered that what has happened is an old thing that we used to do, but the new law has not accepted that. That's what happened, I believe. So I believe that as we move now, the Ministry of Justice will be very careful, will be very vigilant to look at the new law before they actually take anything. But we have a committee, the Human Rights Committee. We will do our best. We will still call the minister and then sit down with the minister and then discuss what has actually happened and what he has done to ensure that this type of thing does not reoccur again, or how do you minimize such a thing. I made my own comments during the adjournment debate, where I talk about the independence of the judiciary is sacrosanct. The executive should not interfere with the judiciary, should not influence the judiciary. The legislature should not interfere or influence the judiciary. And the judiciary itself, even the hierarchy, based on the hierarchy, should not interfere with the courts. The courts should look at the facts and the law and come up with their judgments. But nobody should interfere with them. At least I have done that there, and it was acceptable at the floor of the House. So we'll continue to speak to the judiciary, the minister and his team, to be more vigilant to ensure that this type of thing becomes a thing of the past. That's as much as I can say.
So you mentioned the State of the Nation's address. The State of the Nation address. I've seen an interview that you did in which you said that if this were their best, then they have not done well for the country. Something to that effect. In your own estimation, as a member of the National Assembly, as somebody who travels around the country, from the provinces, you've seen poverty, you've lived it, you deal with people every day. What is the true state economically of the nation?
Well, from my own perspective, I see an economy which is already bankrupt. Like I've said before, you have the recurrent budget. The budget is 50 billion, this year, and that 50 billion, is more or less consumed by recurrent expenditure. Everything is consumed by recurrent expenditure. So you don't have money for development. And then when it comes to loan taking, even the APRC members in the House are tired of the amount of loans that come before us for ratification. We are tired now. We all complain about it. We've seen that and everybody has learned how that is really impacting negatively on the economy of the country. So the state itself, the government, has realized that they cannot continue just taking loans. And they come up with ideas of how to manage, they call it management, how to manage loans, how to manage debt, management of debt. So that's where we are. You cannot do anything without loans. Now they move into with other companies outside, which I argued vehemently at one point and said, well, when you have those arrangements with international organizations or companies, that needs to come before the parliament for ratification. For example, the Senegambia Bridge.
Hello? Internet.
Yeah.
Meaning Atlanta.
So one thing that I'm realizing, I was just communicating with Basiru now. You remember how we used to get like almost four to five people even on the stage?
Yes.
It's like there's a restrictions now, whatever reason. That is why when I click on Demba, he couldn't be on the stage until Sariang went out. So now you can see that even when I try to add Sariang on the stage, you see how Sariang now is on because Suwaibou drop off. So that's I don't know. That's something maybe Bas can help us out, or maybe this is something that Streamline is a new thing. Because we used to have more than 4 people at a time on the stage. So, but anyway, Pasamba, interesting. Modunjai, Musa, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, especially he's because of, I think, this to take on coalition.
Yes.
It's not like, oh, we're just sticking to this formula, this thing, but it's like, yes, all these ideas can come. We can all have a conversation and agree to disagree with them until you find a formula. And I think that should be the approach that everybody takes if people are really interested in a coalition. Because definitely at the end of the day, one cannot come and just claim it is either my way or the highway. You are trying to work with people. We all have our ideas. So this is where you come. What is your approach? This is my approach. What is my approach? This is my approach. You put those approaches together. Okay, this is where we have agreements. This is where we have our disagreements. How do we navigate, these disagreements? And when you get that, and Soko Chege, Musa, for the most part, I think there is that much of a disagreement.
No, they don't. Really?
It's the selection of the candidate.
Yes.
And allocation of whatever policy being happen. And I think that can be, yeah. And anybody who thinks they're building a coalition should be a walk in the park has never tried it.
No.
Because you're telling people to forgo their ambitions.
And this is what I like about what he said. Even if you question the motivation of a smaller party, even if you question their motivation, that doesn't mean that you should just dismiss them outright. Especially if you're trying to forge an alliance.
Yeah.
And I really like.
Okay, we are back.
Yeah.
So Pasamba is taking us a totally different direction. I want to come back to coalition because Lolu, Fimneka, that's the most important issue that we are confronted with, especially if we want to bring about change.
Yeah.
Touray. And I really like the way that you're going about it. But I wanna bring it down to specifics where I think we're gonna have problems. And it's really gonna come down to who is gonna lead this coalition. You've made references that going back to 2016, where we have this delegates allocation. There are some parties that are not very comfortable with the delegate thing that we did in 2016. There was a lot of horse trading, and people thought that it wasn't really fair, especially parties that are coming new. And also, at the end of the day, we need to hear, instead of doing the top down, we should go to the people from the bottom up for them to tell us who they think should be the coalition leader and run against Barrow. And I think that's the most important thing. So some of the ideas that have been floated around, the closest thing that you can go out there, outside of people actually voting, the primary, it's for us to do the polling, to rely on polling data. In other words, all the opposition coalition leaders come together, they hire a barometer or separate, give them the funding if necessary. They go from Banjul to Koina and ask the Gambian people, who do you think should lead this coalition? Whoever, if it comes down to that, Suwaibou Touray is our choice by the majority, then everybody will fall in line to support Suwaibou Touray's candidacy. Now, that is, I'm not talking about some of the bigger things that we need to agree. Like if we take over day one with the new constitution, we're going to, this kind of economic model, it's going to be in the manifesto. For me, that's the easy part. The difficult part is, among all these parties, let's be honest, is who is going to lead
Yeah.
it, and what process are you going to actually put together to determine that? And I'm saying, take it to the Gambian people. If Cyprus goes out there and asks, who do you think the coalition party leaders should be to run against Adama Barrow, and you give them names. Do you want Suwaibou Touray? Do you want A&M Dabo? Do you want Taliban? Do you want SF?
Good idea.
Do you want top leader? Whoever, everybody will be on the list, and whoever comes on top will support that person. What do you say to that, or is that even on the table?
That's a very good idea. Hello? I can come now.
Yes, you can come. Sure.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I heard you very well. You've come up with another approach, which is also suggested by some other people. And like I said, all these ideas need to be put on the table so that we agree. The last time, that was an idea that came, but the reason why we move away from that, one is the finance to do that. Two, it is the time frame. The time frame between the time we were talking and the elections. Short. But this time we are in March. We are in March. We are going to April. We are in April. So this time it's like from April to December. Is still far. I think what you are suggesting is still possible. And
oh, he's gone. No, Pasama, Bilai, what I would call the fairest method is to take it to the Gambian people and take their pulse. I mean, they'll tell us.
But how do you do that?
That's what I'm saying. Relying on polling data, whether Afrobarometer or Cyprus.
But let's also understand that not everybody trusts this data thing.
I mean, wait, that is the closest thing. Man, the way I'm looking at it. I mean, there's nothing concrete out there.
You know what, Bas? Bas, I met your match. I met this lady Musa, who is almost Musa Jeng's age. She's 85 years old. That lady is always running.
Really?
Yes, he told me she went to this marathon. I think it was a 12-day marathon thing, and it's like and in fact she's writing. Anyway,
so you're back, Honorable Touray.
I don't think they're hearing it. Bas, you're not getting it. Most. Okay, one bus. Let I get from there.
One minute.
All of us are team Bas.
Does even Bas know he is the only one? So
but Musa, I think you are relying heavily on the polling data, and polling data can be skewed based on sample. Hold on. You're saying let's go take it to the Gambian people. What is that different from having, delegates from each party to vote on a primary system who are present and certified by parties, and let them go out there? Because it depends on where they sample. It can be large or small, and it can be skewed to one candidate or the other. And I think the shortest thing where we found ourselves today, one thing is to assure folks that the process will be transparent and there'll be honesty. And if they all agree to that, then, I think it will, but how would you say the shortest thing is, sampling or polling and taking the pulse? How do you gauge that?
Okay. Sarian, outside of people actually going and voting, I think the closest to that, if you remember, even here in the United States, bad place to take an example, when we get into a Republican primary or Democratic primary, when you have everybody and their father putting there saying that they want to run, they rely on pulling data to say who is going to be part of the process and who will not be part of the process. They rely on pulling data. If you don't pull 5 or 10%, you're not even going to be on the debating stage. Yeah. All I'm saying is this: even if you do allocation of delegates, we did that in 2016, and when everything is said and done, deals were made. You know what I mean? And and also, like Honorable Touray was saying, how do you allocate the delegates? UDP is going to say, look, I have 200,000 bankable votes. How in the hell am I going to be allocate 70 delegates with a new party that is just formed? How do you deal with that? So you see, there are no easy answers. All I'm saying is, let's take it to the Gambian people. And I'm telling you, Cyprus has been right up to this point.
We gotta Jess, and I would suggest you speak on behalf of UMC, not UDP anymore. So just want to throw that out there. Let's go. We gotta Jess.
All right, Honorable Touray. So we were talking about all these different, and you were getting into all these ideas that are being brought forward.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, sir?
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Okay, yeah. So I'm just saying, what's your reaction to all these ideas in terms of whether delegate allocation, taking it to the Gambian people, or even the idea that based on the last elections, UDP got most votes than any other party? Wouldn't it make sense for them to lead the coalition? Because they are, of course, the biggest party in terms of votes that they were able to garner. I mean, those are all different strands that people are looking at.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying we should not discount any tactic or any strategy. We should put all those strategies, bottom up, bottom up approach, popular primaries. These are all ideas that can be on the table, and it all depends on the agreement of the players. If they agree on a process, what I'm saying, it must be we must have goodwill to say.
Maybe internet bit of a bind.
No, it's Gambia. What sometimes is frustrating to interview anybody in Gambia.
Yeah. I mean, we've had better interviews though. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just the network.
You have the network. You have the power sharing. You have the money can happen. So you have a multiple this thing. It can be the net because I know that they're using a router. It's not necessarily this thing. That they're using. They have because I've been talking to them about the whole week about this and all the stuff. So they bought the what you call their services from one of the providers. So
and provider la bro,
it doesn't matter. It can be they're there to provide service. So
maybe bus. That's why bus is always talking about streamline. You need to not streamline.
Yeah, the capitalist that man who hates himself.
Bus. This what is it called again? Streamlink? No.
Starlink.
Oh,
guess what? Gambia is not the only one that refused to give them this thing. There are some other Africans that tell them no. Because I think there is this African country where if you're investing in a company like that, I think majority shares should belong to people, the native of that country.
Oh.
And that was one of the reasons. I think it was Tanzania or somewhere in the somewhere.
I think Senegal has it though.
Yeah, I don't think it makes any
Kujamadi, are you guys hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
You can hear you.
So I know, Coach, and most of these Gambians are saying, you know,
Namibia. Thank you, Namibia. They have sense.
They say, here's my 1 minute argument in favor of Starlink. Okay. I'll go out and I come back to talk about Starlink.
Yeah, maybe Suwaibou, because we have limited time to just maybe finalize on this coalition thing. Yeah, go ahead.
So Suwaibou, you can I mean, whilst you are kind of giving us your response, I also want you to. There are people that are saying, in the absence of a coalition, Barrow will be re-elected. In other words, there has to be a coalition for him to be defeated. How do you react to that? Do you think that's a true statement, or that he can be defeated even in the absence of a coalition? What's your take?
Yeah, there are two thoughts regarding that. One, it is the mindset of the people. It's not just people saying it, but the problem with political parties or the players in the field is that this is the psychology of the people, that if you don't create a coalition, Barrow will win. You will not be able to bring incumbent down. But from my own experience, I know that the incumbent in Gambia has far more advantage, you know, than the opposition parties. One, we've already dealt with the budget, and that budget has provided $50 million to the president to meet the people. And we know meeting the people to is just a campaign. The president is using it to carry out his campaign. I build a road here, I do this here, I want to put this here, and then you should vote for me, I will do this for you, and these people cannot bring me down. The campaign has already started with that 50 million. So that is a big advantage. And by virtue of being an incumbent, you see that they started dealing with some of the chiefs, removing their, or is it
exactly
removing the staff
from the alcalos,
telling them that because of one reason or the other, you know, we are taking your
Yeah. Again, he was just basically, Pasamba, talking about the inherent advantages that an incumbent. I mean, that just comes with the presidency. I mean, the guy, he has the bully pulpit, he has structures and institutions, and like Honorable Touray is saying, even in the budget, he's been allocated $50 million. And then you're talking about somebody who's basically saying another 50 or 70 million of their own funds will be used to, give starting capital to his supporters. So the advantage is just, it's just so much that if you really want to take him on, it just, I was telling you, was it a few days ago when I spoke to a family member, and this person is just telling me, when people are talking like that, you know, it's just going to be extremely difficult. Mr. Touray, Honorable Touray, so you were saying the inherent advantage incumbent has.
Yeah. So that's my assessment, that in a country like this, where you have the level of the still low when it comes to politics, it's like the incumbent has a lot of influence. He has the alcalos. You know, the last election, what he has done is that once it's just few months to the elections, and then he said, I'm going to set aside salary for alcalos.
Yes.
I don't know whether you remember that.
Yes, we did.
So when he give 3,000 to each alcalo, the alcalo said, this is our president. No other president has ever done this for us. So you have the Alkalolo, you have the chiefs, and you also have the governors. They all have influence among the people.
Locals.
They all have influence among the people. So if you put all those influences from all those senior government officers, and whether they like it or not, they will have to go and campaign for the government, the party in government, because they fear losing their positions. And therefore, even other political parties who do not believe that an opposition can bring about change will also go and join the ruling party so that they will be able to be inclusive when it comes to benefits. Know that many people are after benefits. They are not after any other thing, not the national interest, not after any quality. All they are interested is to get positions. And wherever they think they are going to get positions, that's where they are going to go. So to have individual political parties, from my own assessment, we are simply aiding the ruling party to be on a very simple, easy slate. We can learn that from 1965 to date, no single political party has removed an incumbent from office since 1968. It is only done in 2016, and it is done only because of a coalition of all political parties. So I believe that if people tell me that is their psychology, that they will not be able to vote for individual political parties until you create a coalition, I would believe them. And as I said, if all political parties are hearing the same information that I hear, we will do everything, come up with a coalition, just to be able to create a playing field in our democracy, so that the next election will have a term limit, and we will also have a second round, in which case, if you have a second round of voting, in the first round, all supporters of all political parties will want to vote for the party of their first choice.
Exactly.
And so that at the time when parties will definitely know they are standing in the community. But when it comes to just a simple majority, people will say, Doi cannot win because, you know, if I vote for Doi, UDP will win, or if I vote for Doi, NPP will win. So let me not vote for Doi. So people are looking for winners, and they will go and vote for winners and discard those who they think will not win. And these are the problems that all political parties have, especially those in the opposition.
That is the fundamental problem that we have now and we're confronted with. And under your leadership,
exactly,
that you will find a way to bring these parties together, because that is also part of leadership. I mean, it's not easy. Nobody said it's easy, but so it's really going to take accommodation, compromise, reaching out, and because again, if not, come December 6th, it's going to be business as usual. He will be re-elected, and then we will just be complaining. You know, it will be a little too late. Bob Samuel.
Yeah, well, Suwaibou, I don't think I have much of a question, but maybe to just ask, if you were to advise your colleagues, or let's not even your colleagues, party supporters, you are very active on social media. I know you read a lot of the comments. And when I say party supporters, I'm talking about opposition parties. Like you said, there's a general belief that in the absence of a coalition, Barrow could win. What would you advise supporters of your party, DOI, UDP, and all other parties in terms of how to handle this matter, where it would not be one that would lead us to division, but unity that all parties believe is the only way forward in defeating the incumbent? Yellow, you hear my question?
Yeah, it's a delay.
The parties that I've spoken to so far, the pronouncements I have made, and the individuals. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello. I can come in?
Yes. Come in. The delay.
Hello? Yeah. Now I'm saying, so far the parties that I spoke to and the individuals that I spoke to across the country, wherever I have the opportunity, is to encourage them to become open-minded. We must become open-minded. We cannot solve this problem by becoming individualistic. Once you start thinking of your individual entity, it will become very difficult for you to think of the collective. So we must be open-minded, know that none of us individually can shoulder this responsibility of bringing about change at this particular moment. So since that is the fact, and I believe all political parties have accepted that, I hear Mr. Jeng saying that the last election, the results of the last elections, I don't believe many people will accept that. You have the Unite movement who are saying they have more support base than the UDP. You have people who are saying 3 different entities emerged from or came out from the UDP, and therefore you cannot still say that UDP has those votes that they had. You have the United Movement coming out. You have the Lamin J. Dabo faction that came out. You also have another faction, which I cannot remember. But you have about 3 or 4 factions that come out. So that has weakened the base of the UDP. And then you have other people that came out from the NPP, the guy in Jambur, for example. When I look at his crowd, just from the crowd, I can say that he has taken over at least his village. And then he has some support base in Busumbala and Farato and Birgama as well. So the support base of the UDP, which was mainly in the
Yeah. Affair wo hawa jaha sola de. Yeah. We can hear you, Suwaibou. Go ahead.
So, like Mr. Jeng is saying, hello, I can speak now.
Yeah. We can hear you. Oh, internet biral moy lolu. But again, I guess the point that he's trying to make is, how do you use the obviously the UDP argument that based on the 2021 election, they had more votes than any other party. So by default, you can't put together any coalition that they do not lead. And I guess the point that some of these other parties are saying, especially UMC, that look, wait a minute, we also came out of the UDP. How much of those votes are you going to allocate to us? Then it becomes a subjective, an arrangement. Now, for us to revisit the 2016 delegate allocation, Pasamba, that is also another way of doing it. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have its problems.
No,
Because
it does.
UDP is going to have a big problem with that. Huh?
To me, whether you left or not, it is easier to allocate those votes to the UDP than to an individual.
Absolutely.
And that's just how you solve that problem.
No, I agree. Man,
it was the UDP that went to them, went to the voters, Whatever you were doing, you were doing it at the behest or on the behest of the UDP. So if 238,000 voted for Ousainou, they voted for Ousainou and the UDP. You cannot separate the two. So that's what I'm saying. You know,
I
so
agree.
It's going to be a challenge because then it's nitpicking. You know,
I absolutely.
Keba Madi Bojang, whatever he got
from MPP.
You think he took that away from Barrow?
No. The moment you go through that route, I think it get, like you said, it will be nitpicking. Look, this is the deal. Does UDP have over 200,000 bankable votes? Yes, they do. You cannot take that away from them. Now, so if it's going to be based on the 2021 election, then by virtue of that, clearly, I mean, they should lead the coalition. Now, is UDP going to even subscribe to the idea of delegate allocation? Because they said it very clearly. And they're not going to engage in anything that would include going through a process. You know, their choice is there is a party that they're the biggest party and that they should lead it. That is their position, unless they change. But that has been their position, I mean, going all the way back. And has it changed recently? I don't know, but I don't think so. But Honorable Touray is back. In your absence, Pasamba was making the point that whatever votes that UDP got as a party, you cannot really start trying to reallocate it to other individuals that left, because that would be kind of more of a subjective or nitpicking, if you want to call it that. 230,000 people walked into a polling booth and voted for Mr. Dabo under UDP. So if that is the vote that they got, then that's the vote that they should.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah. Okay. I don't get the point. I'm not get that.
Oh, you didn't?
Hello?
You didn't hear what I said? Can you hear me, Honorable Touray?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Jen?
Yes, sir.
I think the internet is in that side.
Yeah, it's terrible. We can hear you, and unfortunately, you cannot hear me. It looks like.
No, not quite.
Can you hear me now?
Not quite. You did not.
Back to the base.
Yes.
So can you hear me?
Listening. I'm listening.
Oh, you're listening. So it means you can hear me. So what I'm saying is, in your absence, we were making the point.
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
Yeah, we were making the point that whatever votes was back in 20. Oh, there the internet goes again.
Yeah, I think we'll just as well.
Yeah. So boy Fati Munebot Keba Mari's folks have all returned back to the base.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult because
it'll be difficult.
Yeah. Unless you stood on your own.
And back,
like let's say if Ousainou is the candidate.
Yes.
And Ousainou were to leave the UDP and form an order and say, you know what? A whole chunk of these people voted for you because of me. Then now you have an issue. Why I was part of the party, so again, and now some of those votes that we are giving to somebody else, no, it doesn't work that way.
That one would make much more of an argument. Yes. Because you being the presidential candidate, because you got to remember now, sometimes people vote for personalities more so than parties.
Yep.
So if the party left, if the party candidate left and said, look, these were my votes, I think that's a credible argument that can be made. You know.
I know the people just love him, but hey, yeah, he may bring some people. But believe me, ask Jammeh when he left Nakalatura government and said that he was popular. The campaign of Mama Kande. What did that amount?
Oh, Jammeh. Yeah. So, Mr. Touray, you back?
Yeah, I think with the connection most, I think we might
just. Okay, Mr. Touray, we're just gonna give you the opportunity to give your closing remarks, and it looks like the internet hasn't been very.
Hello.
Yes. So we can you hear me?
Yes.
For Nanegay NPP, ñoy sabotage affaire yi.
Hearing me.
They don't like this coalition talk business there. ñoom Boy Fati boobu la ñoo.
That's their biggest fear.
That's their biggest fear. Bakary Marong moom fetalam bi dafa saf de. Bakary, I'm as objective when it comes to this issue as you are. I'm telling you, I am not. All I'm saying is I am pro UMC, but what I would like to see is a coalition that can defeat this guy. And the only thing that separates you from me is that I also believe that Talib Bensouda will be able to do the job. But any other candidate, I'll throw my support behind that person.
Huh? No, I just wanted to come in maybe for 30 seconds, but I said, oh, same guest sorry, I don't know.
Yes.
Because nobody is listening to you with your capitalist.
Honorable Touray.
Exactly, I'm back.
Yes, so the internet hasn't been cooperating. So we're just going to give you to make your closing remarks, and then we'll definitely find time again. Because we like this coalition talks on the leadership and where you're heading with this Team Gambia proposal. I think this thing has legs. You guys should just pursue it vigorously. And because now this Team Gambia move with Apex, and then of course Safety Gambia, I mean the other efforts that have been launched. We need a coalition to give ourselves to hit that reset button. So we just want to give you a minute or two, just give us your closing remarks, sir.
I thank you for the initiative. This discussion is very rewarding. I am learning a lot from the questions that come and from the contributions from there. I see that, like I said, we are doing this work, collective work, working with other people. You should be as open-minded as possible, open as many suggestions as possible, explore what is workable, consult. I believe we eventually have to create a technical team. After we have come up with a concept paper, we should create a technical team that will look at the pros and cons of the things that we have agreed and the things that we have rejected, so that they will also be able to advise the players to be able to come up with a workable document. I believe if that happens, we'll be able to make a headway. All strategies or tactics should be explored. We should not leave anything behind. We should ensure that everything is on the table, and we should also ensure that there is freedom of expression, so that everybody will be able to say what they want without fear or favor. I think if we do it that way, and we have the diaspora. We should not forget about the diaspora. It's a big constituency, even though they are not voting, but they have a lot of influence, and that is the leverage. I believe that's the only area where, apart from the influences of individual leaders and parties, the diaspora is the area which, if they support the opposition in level, we should be able to make a headway. We can even win an election with the support of the diaspora. From my last calculation, from information, the diaspora has more than 300,000 votes. If those people did not rest on their laurels, but they consult their relatives, they consult their loved ones, they consult the people that they know, encourage to vote for the opposition, and give them pros and cons of how there is a big chance for a coalition government to really unseat the ruling government as we stand. So I would implore on everybody who is a citizen. Democracy does not know who is intellectual and who is stupid. Democracy does not know that. Democracy only knows that you are a voter and you should take part in elections. So we implore on all to call on their relatives and call on their loved ones and tell them to register when they are not registered. This opportunity should not escape them. They should ensure that everybody is registered and everybody participates in the election. I think if we do that, we'll be able to do something good for our country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Touray. Thank you very, very much. We're going to bring you back again so that we can delve into the socialism as the solution for Gambia. So, I mean, some people really disagree, and but we will bring you back again, and then we will definitely talk about that as well. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Alpha.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, sir.
Thank you very much.
Brother Bas.
Well, Father Moose.
Yes, sir. Yes,
no,
sir.
I just have 30 seconds. 30 seconds to respond to call.
I don't know smart time away on. Hold on. 30 seconds.
30 seconds. I want you to come and talk about this Starlink.
Hey, you get in why?
No, I'm still younger than you.
He's still young.
Yeah.
And he runs 12 miles a day. Yes. 1 mile.
I know. So what's the reality about
because you feel the ball bit of you didn't even touch it and your knee went out. So believe me.
I'm 30 seconds
I'm filibustering you.
Okay, so Mose, let's
sir.
look at how many guests you guys have here in the program. From government ministers to regular people in the Gambia. The same problem persists. Internet. So, and I think the bigger problem, people think the internet is social media. The internet is not social media. The internet is more than social media. The internet is part of the next industrial revolution. That's a fact. Now, if you look at in the Gambia, you have very few companies. That's AfriCell, QCell, Comium, and I think one other one, 4 of them.
Gamcell.
They have been given, so it's like a kabudu, Kenen Muntanyo. And they have been giving that leverage to provide internet to the Gambian people. For the last 5 years, it's been the same. Since Jame, you can call it since being moments from 2016, it's almost the same. We complain about the same thing over and over again. And if you go to the GRA records, you can tell that these companies are making millions and billions of dollars. Not like they're not making profit. That's why they're paying tax. They're making profit, but what's not happening is that these people are not investing it back into the infrastructure to provide better services to the Gambian people. It's just a fact. They are not investing it back. So let's say a company like AfriCell, what are they doing? Providing free Yusundu concerts. I know that's millions every year. Even if those free Yusundu concerts have been invested back, into the telecommunication infrastructure, it will be better. Look at Senegal. We are tapping from the same ace cable. Senegal internet, most of them Senegal, is like 20 times better than the Gambia.
Million times.
Why are these people not doing that? And then it's the same people, whether it's an open secret, who maybe controlling Pura. Pura, they are toothless bulldogs. They're just basically toothless. They're not enforcing anything. The quality of service is poor everywhere, but they're still connected. If you go back and you look at the statistics of the cost of internet in the Gambia, it's one of the highest in the world. It ranks one of the top 50 highest in the world, the cost of internet. But this services is absolutely poor. Internet is just not about social media. What's happening is we're going to be left behind as far as development is concerned.
Absolutely.
AI is taking over the world. The student in Sarangay, would be able to compete with the student in Serakunda or the student, my kids over here in the US. It's not even gonna be there. So we have to take emotions out of it. Do we know who the investors of Commune are? We don't know them. Do we know who the investors of Africell are? We don't know them. So we gotta take emotions out of these things. That the internet or technology is a tool that's gonna help the Gambia for development. Countries like India, that's why they are progressing, because countries like US, they want cheaper labor, they go over there. Who's gonna employ the thousands of students that are gonna graduate from UTD? Nobody. No one is gonna employ them. So you have to start. The internet is gonna create that global village, that global marketplace, that global industry, so that everyone is gonna thrive. But then with more money, nothing is gonna happen. Let Starlink come in, and if the other Gambian companies want to compete, they provide better service.
Absolutely.
Provide the better service, and they will take you. That's it.
So 30 minutes. So 30 minutes. They've got 30 minutes. Politician. No, here is the thing. Bas. No, Bas.
He has said.
No, hold on. I am in total agreement with you. Now, what we have, these companies are just milking the consumers with no consequences whatsoever. Because Pura, you get people like Jogoba heading Pura, they don't have the capacity, they don't have the integrity, they don't have the dignity, they don't even have the character to hold anybody to account. My concern with Starlink is it is headed by a well-known racist who hates black people and would do anything to damage any black people. Man, that is a person I don't want to do business with, whose business I don't want to support. And this is why with his ex, as soon as he showed me his character, I was done with him. And this is my issue. It's not about what Starlink can provide. It's the individual, Sibopam, the messenger. Kinga Hamdani is the head of Starlink. That's the
only guy you know. That's the only guy you know.
Well, you know what? I would rather then let me eat malo.
When I think I don't care for Elon Musk, just like you don't. I don't like his politics. None of that I like. You know what I mean? But I should be able to make a clear distinction between the personality of that individual and a new technology. Not everybody that created this new technology, some of them were racist. I mean, going all the way back. People that created electricity, people who created the radio, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what their political affiliations are. But when everything is said and done, Pasamba, at this juncture, what we need more than anything else, I think Starlink is not something that we can just say that because of it's owned by Elon Musk. So let
me ask Bas this question.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, Bas, now you're made the Minister of Digital Economy or whatever they call them.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yeah.
Or let's say, Bas, you are now the head of Pura.
Yeah.
You know, Starlink is out the door. You have QTV, QCell, you have Africell, you have Comium, you have these things. What do you think strategically can be done? You've also mentioned they are making the money, but they are not reinvesting the money in infrastructural development to get us to where we need to be. So meaning the possibility of getting there is there. The absence of it more making sure that we are getting there. If you are giving that opportunity, Barrow comes to you and say, okay, Mr. Daw, I know who you are. I've heard about you. You don't even need to change your citizenship if you have another one to be head of Pura. All I will ask you to do is help me get internet services to where it needs to be by holding these institutions to account. Do you think that is doable?
I think that is absolutely doable. You know, what you start with setting the minimum baselines, that this is what is needed for all of these companies to operate. If they cannot meet those baselines, you attract new investors who are going to do it, and we move on.
So let me just ask this follow-up question. So meaning even Starlink, with all its gold and whatever flashes, if they were to come to the Gambia and the regulations are not being implemented, so there is a chance that even though they are providing better services somewhere, but giving our lax implementation of these regulations, that they can just do what they want. We can go.
No, I think the infrastructure with Starlink is different. So right now, the problem with Gambia is that they're not investing in new infrastructure so that we can have those services. You know, that's the problem with Gambia. With Starlink, it's just, you know, open sky. You have that, and then that's it. So that's it. So the problem is that they're not investing. So I think from my own standpoint, if these companies want to continue to survive, what they would do is just invest, and then people sooner or later would stop using Starlink, and then they will take it over. That's the thing. But with Starlink, you set the standards across Starlink too. You set it, and then you have that's why we have Pura, so that they can measure quality of service and all of that to make sure all these benchmarks are met. If you don't meet it, they fine you. Just like over here in the US, if you don't meet certain benchmarks, or certain things, you get in trouble. So that's the same thing that you have to implement in the Gambia.
So if I hear you, the issue is not investment. The issue is holding those investors to account.
No. He did not say that. Of
course, that's why. No. Don't money. Buy come answer, Papa.
It's both because if you are not investing,
so meaning Luma is not wrong. So Mungi believe
but Bus, not technically savvy, but there are also efficiencies. Can these people invest like Cell, make the necessary investment and still compete against Starlink? What we should look at is Starlink is really what the government needs. Let's have the competition, and Pasamba's issue is nothing more than because I don't like Elon Musk. That's it.
And that's what so many people online demanding about this everywhere.
Should that also be dismissed?
It should be dismissed, of course. We should be able to make the clear distinction between the people that own a company.
You are a deal maker. I'm a realist.
No,
just go ahead.
Let me give you an example. Do you know that the AfriCells and the QCells are already investing in other West African countries?
Yes.
They're already investing there, and I'm not sure what the quality of service is over there. But instead of making this one better, they're just trying to expand and then get more money. Let's make the quality of service better here. Let's make it here in the Gambia. Let's make the quality of service.
But Luma boy bus, man, to me it boils down to the same thing. The same thing linga hamne more affect the everyday lifestyle of Gambians. More you look at everything, whether it is cement production, it's always low quality. Because we never hold people to account. Everybody in an office is waiting for somebody who will give you an envelope. So we have to have honest, serious people. Let me ask you this, Bas. You were in this business for a very long time. Okay? Do you think Gambians, let's say Basiru Dao, if I were Musa Jeglubi head Mawa, so we don't lottery with it. Now, you know what? We're going to go and open Dao Tech in the Gambia. All right? We're going to compete with Nakaratura, QCell and all these people. We have the resources to do it. Do you think we can have more quality service than QCell and this thing are giving to us?
Absolutely. If you invest,
so it's not much, Musa.
But then the other problem you're gonna have is they won't allow you to establish this stuff. That's the other thing.
But then it's not a problem of it's the problem of the system. But we need to overhaul the whole system. Why Starlink more?
Whether it's QCell, these people are looking at their numbers. They are looking at Gambia as a market. They're saying, if I infuse this amount of capital investment to upgrade system A or system B, how is that going to affect my bottom line? That's what they're looking at.
Exactly, yeah.
Efficiencies come in. And people are saying maybe something like a Starlink would be much, much, much more efficient. Now, I don't even know how the technology works, but Basio, you know that. So they can come, because Starlink is not only relying on Gambian market. Understand what I mean? For the company to be viable, they're relying on a bigger market. All we are saying is, let's get into the game. That is why, come December, let's vote for somebody who is very bold, transformational, will make the deal and not be sitting on our laurels and listening to activists like Pasamba Jau. All they do is rely on principles and those kind of things. That is not going to develop Gambia. We need a new way of thinking, so that somebody like Basnda, we can reach out to him and bring him to the Gambia and make this thing work. That's what the country needs.
One thing I want to say though, I'm not part of the UMC, but UMC engaging guy.
You bro.
No, I must. I'm going to make an finish. So you send campaign in your helicopter.
Bull surprise. We're going to be in somewhere in Kantora, and all of a sudden, motorcycle, taxi, pick up truck, and you take this helicopter. Bunyore pour land, because we are going to utilize the tools. I mean, politics in Gambia is never going to be the same.
I'm not sure boy party. I don't buy them, man. Thanks, man.
Why are you talking your ideas of bro? Helicopter be there. No, I think that is not a bad idea. With a helicopter, have a meeting in Brikama. And Coach, are you listening?
No, Gane.
You're rolling your eyes. Okay, you're rolling your eyes. Anyway.
No. Let me tell you, Musa. One thing that Africa cannot continue to do is taking charity from some of these people without, in fact, looking at them.
Oh, I'm all for that.
Yeah. So, to me, Musa, this is key. What's his name?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. What I saw Elon Musk just do to this country within a few months.
Right.
This man is Elon Musk is the worst person that
Elon Musk. It's not like a tiny market like Gambia.
What does that? No, he's not only looking for Gambia. His control is not only. This is why he's going to every single country in Africa and being rejected.
Bro, we need. I don't care.
South Africa has rejected him where he came from and would not claim because his father was able to benefit through apartheid so that they will become billionaires. All right. Namibia said, nope, we cannot have such a company to be owned solely by a foreigner without Namibians having like a stake in it. So these are some of the challenges. I don't like him. I don't trust him. And I think at some point Africans should be selective. We would rather die with our poverty than just in any form of poverty.
Who's been coming in and out to have the last word on this Starlink, Brother Marong, because I haven't heard your take on.
Maybe we can make Trump our next president, Musa, if he does this, because since you kind of need a billionaire, make him your president. Before he lands monies to go and go to Venezuela, he can just come to the Gambia. He can speak English. They will understand him.
Perfectly well, Brother Marong.
Yeah, when it comes to stuff like that, I'm very liberal. Whatever the marketplace is, I mean, if they can compete and get the cost down, efficient services, I'm all for it. It doesn't matter who owns it. So,
I know about your independent progressive streak. That is why you're a low-hanging fruit for UNC.
Okay, well, I heard about helicopters. So don't get it all twisted here and him trying to take me off my game. Okay, I know you are notorious in doing that. Okay.
Don't listen to this guy, man. Sorry, you know him.
Oh no, of course, he's a low-hanging fruit for the UDP. Man, mala war lulu. Hana UDP mola war lulu.
He's recruiting you for his UMC.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He says UDP money, they are not delegate led. That was said by Mr. Lamin Mane. After that, Dabo came out and IGMSEC came out and clarified, and we need to move away from that. Let's give this coalition an opportunity. Huh? No, you mentioned all. Huh?
Well, up to this point, I don't think that UDP, they are interested in a process there.
Mane, wahalula where yau nekulo UDP, you are not privy to their discussions.
He came and made clarification.
He says that's the position of some individual, and IGMSEC came in and clarified. So we always give you credit where it's due. Give credit where it's due. Tell man lumala wa moy. Yau bokulo te bokulo elek. Te bidi watan bi yau bokulo. Wahalula where. Pumneka ni. CFE UDP, maneda nga bay dal ga topato UMC, okay? Lo la muna wax dal.
No, I sorry, and I am so impressed by you, man. I'm serious. Wolof is much better. What you just said now, if Musa wanted to say it in Wolof, he would be speaking English.
In Mandinka, I say.
No, even the Wolof that he claims, he would not even be able to say that without.
I'm gonna coach Kerok Damako call Maneko Danga Hamlui fast jump.
Come to all of this, but I'm going to do exactly what he did.
What?
The man went and married a beautiful woman who understands Wolof more than I do.
No, that day one sumane if I make broadcast on the thing, no, nanga footing that practice ba. Step by step. And I'm motivated to learn and to reverse. And sometimes, Musa, to be honest, I recorded these things and I say it over and over and over and again for my vocal.
No, you're just smart.
It's just the ayah in the Quran. When you recorded it, just go and do it, and you will memorize in no time soon. I'm telling you right now, that's the way to do it.
Let me tell you though, my Mandinka has improved immensely. Bunjeka dumadan muna deglusa audio yini, but now I can.
Yeah, because you are into it. You are part and soul of UMC.
Seriously, dega. My problem is just communicating. Why dega be mom now? The
problem, if you listen to Ibrahim Adiba, when he goes deep into it, you have an issue.
I watched Ibrahim Adiba's brunch interview from start to finish. I know exactly what Dimachago was saying. I mean,
did he cry?
Huh?
He did not cry there?
No, he did not.
Oh, okay.
And Boy Fadi can tell you that my music has improved. Because
yeah. No, but Boy Fadi is from Kabu, so Lula Kabunkala. He doesn't count.
So he's not a Badibunka?
No, he's not a Badi. No, Koko Badibunka. No, Badibunka is not gonna align, and Badibunka at least. If they make a mistake, they will stand up and say they made a mistake. One day, yange farfarlo, bonu yange bluneka. The Boy Fati is not a typical Badibunka. A Badibunka will stand for for what is right and what is wrong.
I mean, what do they call them? Jahanka. I think he's closer to Jahanka.
Kan?
Ki Boy Fati.
Oh, okay. So Jahankala.
He's not a Badibunka.
Fati Haidara.
Jahankala, imami, they are the imams of the Mandinkas.
I don't
no, why? Yange Kumase na Yange Kumase and the cousins are watching. So you better not get yourself in trouble.
Before I fall on the trap of boycott.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, it's not boycott. What the ball dal ya bokulo. So bokulo. Bayrek. Bokulo.
Anyway, but it was a good interview, and I like some of the things that Honorable Touray.
I got it.
I like the effort that they are launching as far as the coalition talks and some of the safeguards, Pasamba, the way he put it. I mean, I think if we are really serious about wanting to give ourselves a chance, I think we should embrace it. Whoever win, and then we have these safeguards, and then make sure that the ministerial positions are allocated in the right way. We have a manifesto and the change that we want to implement, and kind of reduce the executive presidency. I think if we can pursue that, I think I think we should be willing to roll the dice.
I think that there are enough evidence from what failed us the last time for us to learn from, and they are still there, evident that we can look at, because there was a committee that was supposed to be responsible for the selection of potential ministers. It was bypassed. Everybody was running to Barrow wanting to be a minister. Exactly. So we made Barrow an executive president even before he assumed the presidency, because he became he was like everybody wanted to be, so it became that. And now if you're coming to me begging me to make you something that we are supposed to be owning together, well, now you are at my mercy. And this is why he was able to fire left, right, and center. And before you know it, he entered.
And that was something else that he said. Even with all that, it's not like, let's say, he's saying Doi can just say, okay, we want Pasamba Jau to be this minister, whatever. But still, Pasamba Jau is going to go through a technical team, and they're going to see whether is this guy the right person for the job. So it's not just like any party, just because you're part of the coalition, you can just recommend anybody. We want to make sure that the person who is holding a ministerial position, that person has the necessary required qualifications as well. And
because if Barrow had done it, then we would have had a different agriculture minister as we speak right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, is it still difficult? I think it's still difficult. I think for us to come together, it's tough, but it's doable. I mean, yeah, it's doable. But and also time is becoming to be our enemy. You know, at some point, we just either put together the alliances or, like the Wolof would say, goyo goy dem botsadom. You know, there. But anyway, guys,
all right, guys,
we will be back next Sunday, inshallah. And we will be back. For everybody that tuned in, to Honorable Touray.
Inshallah, Musa Gang.
Inshallah, Brother Marong.
Today you were in the middle, so
you always in the middle. Always. It's just that sometimes people don't like what I'm saying, but
anyway,
it's all good, man. Have a good day, a good weekend, and good week ahead.
So what's the dinner tonight? What's the dinner tonight? You haven't
no dinner tonight. I'm trying to get things done. I mean, today I'm in the hustling mode.
Oh, hustling.
You know,
that's the buddy boom commute. Hustling mode.
Yeah, yes.
All right, man.
All right, brother, man.
Later.
Yeah.